Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Sports Tea. Oh my gosh, there is a lot to talk about. A whole lot is happening in the sports world this week, just in general. Before we get started, please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We do have a full show in the middle of the night, the morning, whatever time it is for you guys. Good morning, good evening, but welcome back. So, yeah, I mean, the NBA, before we get into the topics, uh, the NBA world was hit with bad news today about a former NBA player, Dikembe Mutombo. He passed away today from brain cancer. Well, yesterday. He was an amazing player. He started his career with the Nuggets. He also played for the Hawks as well as the 76ers, and he spent the last few years of his career with the Rockets. So Dikembe, he was a walking double-double. For his career, he almost averaged a double-double. He was about 9.8 points, just shy of 10, and he averaged over 10 rebounds for his career. He also recorded almost 3 blocks per game as well. And he was a husband, he was a father. And after retirement, he focused primarily on charity work in Africa. May he rest in peace. It was a pleasure to witness him play for all these years. So this episode, it is going to be dedicated to Dikembe Mutombo. And here is a short video of some highlights from his incredible career. Oops. So I hope you guys remember Mutombo and the finals run he had with Iverson. It was just so exciting to watch, and I was rooting for them. That was a really great series. It was just incredible to see Iverson, you know, um, get that team to the finals. He had a great run. Incredible series. So we are going to get started with the first topic tonight. It's surrounding Magic Johnson. 1 second. Before I do that, let me just say thank you to you guys for being here with me tonight. If it's early, if it's late, thanks for stopping by. So we're going to talk about Magic Johnson. Magic, he's already addressed Ant-Man. He addressed him earlier this month. He was not pleased with his comments to the Wall Street Journal, and he's not pleased now. He's still not pleased about it. It seems like he's getting angrier and angrier every single time that he's asked about the comments that Anthony Edwards made, and you can tell how offended he is, and also it seems like he just doesn't understand the place that it comes from. So I want to play for you guys what he had to say. He did an appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live, and Jimmy he went for it. He asked him some tough questions. I don't know if they were really tough questions, if Magic Johnson wanted to speak to these things or not, if it was planned ahead of time, who knows? But I'm going to play the soundbite for you guys, and we'll talk about it after.
I don't want to anger you, but I do want to bring something up because this guy I have it here, quote, this Anthony Edwards, he plays for the Timberwolves. Man. He was comparing your NBA era to his NBA era now, and he said, I don't think anybody had skill back then. Michael Jordan was the only one that really had skill. You know what I mean? So that's why when they saw Kobe, they were like, oh, my God. But now everybody has skill.
Thanks a lot, Anthony.
Yeah.
I think he should have asked somebody, maybe his father or his grandfather, about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Dr. J, Isaiah Thomas, Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Clyde Drexler, all these guys, Dominique Wilkins. We had some of the most dominant players that's ever played.
You should buy the Timberwolves just to bring him in for his contract. and go, Anthony, this thing about the skill, I'm paying Ohtani $2 million.
Yes.
You want to be in that boat?
But also, too, you might want to talk trash when you won something.
Oh, that.
If this came from some of the guys who just won on the Celtic team, okay, you might want to look at it. But you haven't won anything. If I'm Anthony Edwards, I'm concerned about the Dallas Mavericks, about OKC, about Boston, about all these great
You're
teams
not thinking about players of the past?
Yeah, exactly. You concentrate because you got beat by the Mavericks. You didn't make it to the championship. So I'm concentrating on that. So what happened in a time you wasn't born.
He probably you would probably agree with that if he thought it through.
Oh, wow. So I feel like he went scorched earth this time around. He's literally saying everything that I've been saying for years. Stop worrying about me and my 5 rings. Worry about yourself, King. Right? Like, you haven't won. Focus on your career and the competition in front of you because you weren't there. You don't know who had skill, so why speak on it? Before opening your mouth, why didn't you ask your dad or your grandfather, is what Magic Johnson said. That cut deep, in my opinion, straight to the white meat, because Anthony Edwards has no relationship with his father. His father was apparently a great basketball player, but he was largely just absent from his life. He was raised by his mother, and he's lost family members, people who raised him, people who were close to him. I believe it was either his grandmother or his mom that passed away. Don't quote me on that. But, Anthony Edwards, he doesn't exactly have, the parental, presence. So he didn't have a dad to ask, but he could have asked somebody, right? You're a professional NBA player. It's your responsibility to be knowledgeable on your sport, your profession, what it is that you do, who did it before you, how great were they, what are you striving to reach. So the past players, to me, they set the standard early on, very early on, for what was possible in sports. You don't, I think, even just to bring up LeBron James and the 40,000 points that he scored, people thought maybe it wasn't possible, but he was able to do it. And we can talk all day about how he was able to do it. It was, loads of volume of 3-point shots, hogging the ball, whatever it was supposed to be. Like, I genuinely think that, there's things that happen in sports that set the bar and it continues to raise. And that's what is supposed to happen. And the fact that you have done no research about the forefathers of this game, it's disrespectful. I'm sure that he had mentors, someone to talk to, because he's looking crazy right now. Even after the loss to the Mavericks, the media and fans had a lot of respect for Ant-Man. He went to the Olympics. We were all rooting for him. He still had this confidence and bravado of being the number 1 option, even on that star-studded Olympic team. So we were all still really proud of him and really just loving his aura, his huge sense of accountability. But his comments were out of line, period. I don't even think he meant to be so disrespectful. He didn't know how to answer the question in a way that wouldn't be an indictment on what he's accomplished in the sport up until now somehow. For some reason, players are completely obsessed with their legacy. And I can't figure out why. I can't figure out, like, for someone like me, there are a few players, if any at all, that I'm willing to rank all-time top 10 players, or even rank them all-time in this era. I feel the need to only compare them to players in the LeBron era, in this era. I don't think today's era of basketball, that's removed the defense from the league, that has eliminated the 5-man game, the point guard role is extinct. Why should Steph Curry be compared to Magic Johnson? What about what he's done as a point guard is comparable at all? That makes no sense to me. Everything has been so much about legacy and painting the perfect picture of yourself as a player. I respect and appreciate genuine authenticity. For me, that's how I want all my interactions to be, whether I'm at work or at home. Genuine, authentic. I think it's great when a player will do what it takes to win, even if it means that they pass to the guy with the hot hand instead of being the hero. Or or they gave players of the past their props for paving the way instead of just calling them firemen and plumbers. I've got a big problem with that. This behavior in the NBA currently is shameful. The worst part of that is the battle of the eras isn't even bringing out a fierce competition in these players. They are not going on a tear to prove to the old heads that, they're wrong, that maybe they can at least win things that have been eluding them, such as championship titles, those things that you actually play for. Ant-Man popping shit like this without a title to boot, it just reminds me of that Jay-Z song. Do you guys like Jay-Z? Whether you like him or not, I'm sure you guys know and have heard of the song Imaginary Playmates, excuse me. And Magic Johnson, he's got to be sitting there just thinking to himself, laughing to himself, like, I got to be the pioneer of this shit. Laughing, like the whole song just really embodies to me this situation, really. The best line of the song that really sums it up for me is that when Jay-Z says, "You're selling records being you, but still you want to be me." It's an indictment, really, because every single time that young guys talk down on the past generation in an insulting way, instead of uplifting all the players of the past and present, it's truly, it's one of those situations they're just trying to prove that they really want the accomplishments, or they're showing us when they do this that they really want the accomplishments that the past generational players that they've had, but they don't want what it takes to achieve it. They don't want the potential criticism that comes with it. They don't want the pressure that comes with it, really. All the money in the world that they're making is great. They're making millions of dollars. They get to turn around and call, past players of the league plumbers and firemen, and they're making all this money, right? But they're not winning. They're not reaching the heights that these guys that made very little money have reached. The mentality is not there. They can work out, they can practice in private gyms and have their own personal trainer, spend millions on their body. They can have their own facilities and the very best resources for everything, right? But whatever it is they do, they don't even practice anymore, right? I mean, but they couldn't take the time to know the forefathers of their game before making ridiculous comments like, I didn't watch, but I'm going to insult everyone that came before me anyway. They can't take the time to perfect their game and overcome their fears and the holes in their game. Instead, they sit on social media all day to become a mental head case. I get it. Navigating the world in social media era, it's not easy. I hear that, and I feel that. And it's also not easy being rich and famous. It comes with its own set of challenges, right? But when you're rich and famous, why have social media anyway? Especially when you need to focus on something as big and as heavy and as important as winning NBA titles. I have a friend that, he made it big in the stock market and made millions. He deleted all of his social media except LinkedIn. That was the only one he kept. He had no desire to look for validation and to compare himself to others on social media. He just didn't want to do it anymore. He wanted to spend more time living instead of posting. It's easier, to me, it's much easier said than done. Quite frankly, I think when you're a popular person or a famous person and people expect you to be in the mix, they look for you to say things. They look for you to say certain things, right? It's not easy. I get it. But this battle of the eras, it's not going to cool off. Magic Johnson is turning up the heat every single time he talks. He's just, really, he's putting these young guys, he's putting guys who haven't won a title but have a lot to say, he's putting their back up against the wall. That's what I think. Magic Johnson, he's one of the most even-tempered guys. He's rich, he's beloved, he's on the Mount Rushmore. What does he have to really be mad about? He's mad about Anthony Edwards discrediting and defaming one of the greatest periods in the game of basketball. And I don't blame him for feeling that way. He should feel disrespected. Anthony Edwards and a bunch of other players today have just been taking a huge poop on guys from the past and just the state of the NBA from back in the day when they're not playing a better brand of basketball today. There's so many guys from back in the day that had skill. Magic Johnson named a few in that soundbite, and it's just really disrespectful what they're doing, and it needs to stop. They need to be stopped. And so people such as myself, we're going to keep calling it out. We're going to, try to shine a light on these topics because the work ethic and the mentality of people today is that they need recognition. In order to be recognized, they have to put other people down. It's sad. It's pathetic. But I do want to open the phone lines. I'm going to read some comments surrounding this. I'm curious to hear what you guys think. Oh, thanks for the super chat. This is my very first one, guys. Thank you so much. It's not that serious. A lot of today's young players are grossly ignorant. They have no respect and they're very entitled. I can't take what they say seriously at all. You can't. I mean, Anthony Edwards also, I played a soundbite a couple videos ago of him talking about himself, Steph, and KD getting a drug test. And he was like, yeah, I had to take a drug test or something. What do they call that? It was like a drug test or something. He's just like literally not that bright. He's not the sharpest tool in the shed. And it's concerning. It's really, really concerning. So yeah, I'm going to open up the phone lines. Guys, please feel free to call in and let me know what you think. Why are NBA players so obsessed with their legacy and, just putting down the past generation? Where do you think it stems from? I'm going to read some comments. Yeah, guys, do me a favor and like the video. And if you can subscribe to the channel, if you haven't done so already, I'd really appreciate it. Yes, Anthony Edwards needs education on the great legends of the old NBA era. I mean, he really does. It's getting old now, like all of this infighting between, the old heads and the young guys. Ask Ant to go watch 1987 All-Star Game. I mean, it seems like he needs a history lesson on the sport. He didn't watch, so that means he doesn't know anything. It's really pathetic. This is what happens when you have LeBron as the leader of the league. I couldn't agree more. 1 second, caller. Let me just put you on the Bluetooth.
Problem.
All righty. I have a caller from Canada. What's your name? Talk to me nice.
No, it's actually California.
Oh, California?
Yeah.
All righty. What's your name, sir?
I go by Kelly.
Kelly, nice to hear from you.
Oh, thank you for having me on the show.
What do you think about this topic? Do you think that players today are obsessed with their legacy, and why? Or, if you just want to chat about Anthony Edwards' comments about players not having skill or what Magic Johnson said, go for it.
Oh, it's funny enough. I think, well, sorry, not that I think, but I saw a video today about the whole system of the AAU basketball, and it also ties into these young athletes, and it starts from the AAU all the way into the College League of NIL. They're very, like a better word, self-centered. They're all about, as you're saying, the legacy, right? So
Right.
I think Anthony Edwards, kind of fits that mold a little bit, like you're saying.
It's really crazy, don't you think? That
Yeah, it is. You go ahead.
I just think it's crazy that you can be so ignorant and have so much to say. I've never seen anything like it before.
Yeah, for sure. I also read a comment in your chat that someone said that it's people like Reddick and Gilbert Arenas that have made it more common, more popular to, excuse my language, shit all over the old generations, and I kind of feel that. I agree with that,
Yeah, I think that there's essentially there's a campaign doing this, and it's there to serve either ensuring that the league today is able to be elevated and seen as the best, in addition to just the LeBron narratives that he must be the GOAT. So I think it's two things. It's the GOAT narratives for LeBron that the media is trying to push, and I also think that it's the whole like need for recognition. But I do have another caller from Georgia. I'm going to go ahead and take this call, but thank you so much for calling in, Kelly. I really appreciate you, buddy.
All right, thanks a lot. I'll be tuning in soon. All right,
Thanks so
have a
much.
good one.
You too. Bye-bye. Hi, this is Dominique from Sports Tea. Talk to me nice.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Fantastic. What's your name?
My name is Ray Miller. Calling from Marietta, Georgia.
Your name is Raymond?
Raymond Miller, go by Ray.
Ray. Nice to hear from you, Ray. What do you think about
Yeah,
this
I
topic?
just kind. It's really like low key. I just got off work and I tuned in again, and then it's just Magic had every right to say the young boy should go back, ask his pops, ask his grandfather, ask his neighbor, ask anybody. The comparison. It's overrating, and it's not overrated. It's irritating barbershop BS because you hadn't seen that. I mean, just ignorance right there. I haven't watched that era, but you can make a comment on it. No, you really can't. You really can't. The talent of Clyde Drexler, John Stockton, Chris Muller. I'm 44. I played basketball all my life, some college. This era, there's talent in every era. Whether it was physical, the game changes, the rules and everything. So when Ant-Man, who I respect his game, and others compare different, and it's just an entitlement. And I think that's really what it is with the social media and everything. The younger generation is just entitled. And the old generation doesn't really know how to, or know how to mentor. So it's always going to be that back and forth, and it's just ignorant. It's just ignorant.
Yeah, no, it is. It is really ignorant. And, they've always had comparisons in basketball. There's always been, the next generation compared to the guy beforehand. I mean, Trilgoon, to be fair, they compared Jordan to Wilt and they were different positions. It's true. They did compare Michael Jordan to Wilt, and Wilt would come out and say, he's not better than me. I'm the greatest. And Michael Jordan would laugh it off. He would laugh it off and say he was right. There's just a certain level of respect that you should have for those that came before you. I mean, that's just how I was raised in my life. I had respect for my elders growing up, and you don't disrespect them, even if they come for you a little bit. You let them say their piece and you move on. You don't have to. You know what I mean? What does Anthony Edwards need to prove? He's a multimillionaire. It's not really important for today's players to win. They just need their stats. They just need to be hyped in the media. And whatever story that the media wants to put out there to make excuses for their losing or what have you, it won't really matter. And I mean, Yeah,
The young boy got to do some homework. You got to look at Pistol Pete. You got to look at Iceman. You got to look at Dr. J. You got to look at all these legends, and even ones who wasn't even considered legends. I'm a point guard, so he forgot about Chauncey Billups. He forgot about Baron Davis. He forgot about Penny Hardaway. He forgot about. I can go on, but
he forgot about so many, and I bet he wore a pair of Penny Hardaways at some point. Probably doesn't even know what those sneakers are. It's just like, how dare
the greatest shoe since Jordan.
Yeah, how dare you? Kevin Garnett was an amazing player. He didn't have skill.
Man,
it's ridiculous. So
and I'm not going. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, and I also wanted, because I've only been chiming in to you probably about I just got put on game maybe like 2-3 weeks ago. So when I get off work around this time, I try to catch it. And just the way you can tell you was raised right, the way you speak, the way you carry yourself, your knowledge, you speak opinions, but you speak facts. So just salute to you. Keep doing what you do. And yeah.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the compliment. Thank you for calling in tonight, Ray.
No problem.
You're welcome to call back anytime. It was really nice to hear from you.
Likewise. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night off.
You too. Bye-bye. All right. I'll read some more comments and then we'll move on to the next topic. I am a true hip hop head. Being from New York, you can't not have hip hop in your life, in your culture. So, yeah. And it's crazy what's going on right now in the hip hop world. Real crazy stuff, right? Good morning, SJ Fish. Thanks for joining. Because you never heard of it means it never happened. Exactly. It's just like it's ridiculous. You don't have to live during the time that Wilt Chamberlain played to know that he was an amazing player. Anthony Edwards needed to watch podcast P with Paul George, and DeMar DeRozan was a guest on that a few weeks ago when he had respect for like Alex English, Iceman, George Gervin, Hakeem Olajuwon. Absolutely. I covered that as well. I talked about that in great length, and I loved that because those guys, they must be the last of a dying breed. I don't even think very much of Paul George. I actually really enjoy DeMar DeRozan's game a lot. But as far as Paul George is concerned, I view him as like a serial loser. And for him to even come out and say, hey, like, this is not what you do. We don't disrespect, the old heads. We don't disrespect the forefathers of our game. To me, the NBA, it's like a fraternity, similar to the WNBA being like a sorority. And you've got to, you kind of protect each other as players, and you don't disrespect that thing of yours. It's like this thing of ours, like the mob. You don't disrespect the league and the players in the league. You just don't do it. They don't care. I mean, they don't, because it's to protect themselves. They can't handle the media pressure, so they need to deflect. It's a deflection. It's just like when you were a kid and, you did something wrong and your parents came to you and told you about it. Maybe they punished you. Maybe there was some consequence. And your reply to them was, well, Sally and Harry did it. And they said, well, did Sally and Harry jump off the Brooklyn Bridge? And, that's how those things go. You don't deflect to other things when we're talking about you and what you need to do, accomplish, and or change. Right? So that's the problem with these players. And we're going to continue to see that. It's not going to stop. They either don't know any better, or it's a tactic they use because it works. If something's working, if you're able to convince and to scam and con the American public into believing these narratives, then why wouldn't you keep doing it? So there's a portion of that, it's like we as people have to mitigate that. Like, hey, what are we going to choose to believe? And if we don't know the history of the sport, then maybe we are just going to roll with it, right? So it is really disappointing and it's sad. Marcel, the lack of maturity and ignorance has damaged the sport. Plus, everyone is a brand idea. Yeah, and it's just like, I get the need to protect your brand too, but there's a point where it just goes too far, and they don't need to be disrespectful of the past generation in order to protect their brand, in order to get recognition for what the great things that they're doing in the league. I just don't think it's necessary. Edwards doesn't know any better. He doesn't. Even now, nobody complains when Kobe is compared to Jordan. Why? Because their game looks somewhat alike. I think no one complains because the comparisons, it's not a Kobe fan saying that Michael Jordan sucked or he didn't have any skill or he didn't face anybody. That's usually not like what's happening for whatever reason. It's the fans of players today that they also didn't probably watch Michael Jordan. They don't really know, and they're coming up with or regurgitating and repeating these narratives that the La Media came up with, and the players of today continue to perpetuate. So I was on the Ant bandwagon as the second coming until those comments, and I'm mostly turned off now. I'm definitely turned off by the comments, but his game is his game. So when we're talking about straight hoops and straight basketball, like, I appreciate his game. He's electrifying on the court, and I felt like he was bringing real accountability back to the NBA. When he lost in the Western Conference Finals, he did not blame his teammates. He took ownership. He felt like he was the difference. Like, he points the finger inward and says, "Hey, like, what difference am I able to make?" And I respect that a lot. And he got that from somewhere. And I believe that he got that from the past generations, because you definitely didn't get it from LeBron or any of the guys that you're hanging out with now, who don't take accountability for losses, who throw their teammates under the bus and make excuses when they lose. So he's been honest. He's been open. I've seen him post game press conference say, "Hey, I was tired," which is just the truth. And I appreciate him just playing the game that he plays, being competitive, wanting to kill everything in front of him. These are the things that he says. So if he's scamming us, if I'm falling for it, then I got tricked. But I don't want to believe that he's a scam artist. What I do believe is that he's struggling with the pressure and the comparison to Jordan, and he doesn't want that pressure on his back. He knows he's not Michael Jordan, and it's difficult to be compared to him. And he didn't necessarily ask for that comparison either. He didn't come into the league wearing 23. He's not, saying he's not, telling stories about how, he always wanted to eclipse Michael Jordan. That's not what he's doing. He's coming in saying, "Hey, Kevin Durant's my favorite player. To me, he's the GOAT," which is ridiculous. But, these are his role models. These are the players that he looks up to. Jordan continuously scored on tough contested defenses, and people love that. They don't want to watch guys sit in the pocket and just jack up three-pointers. Of course not. Today's game is a three-point contest and a layup line. Open lanes, nothing but volume perimeter shooting, uncontested three-point shots. That's the best part of it. Guys need a screen just to try to attempt to score. It's not what it used to be, that's for sure. And I think that basketball should change. It should evolve into different things. But to me, the game is the game. There's always the 5 positions, and I just don't think that the way that the game has changed is for the positive. I don't. Truth is, players have always been compared to other players. Yes, they have always been compared to other players, but the climate of which is to how they're being compared to them now is negative, and it's bad, and it's creating creating a huge war. It's creating a huge war for, players in the past. They feel disrespected. I remember Wilt Chamberlain and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar having a little bit of beef. They didn't like each other, but it wasn't that they didn't like each other because Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was disrespecting Wilt Chamberlain's game and saying that he wasn't a great player, saying that he didn't have any skill, saying that he didn't play against anybody. It's one thing to even come out and say that you're the greatest. Hey, I'm the greatest. I know I would be able to beat anybody in any era. I'm that guy. I'm fine with players saying that. I'm actually kind of not, because if you haven't done enough to prove it, then you shouldn't be saying that. But if that's the route that you're going to take, okay, but you don't have to sit there and lie about other players or put them down. Saying that somebody didn't compete against anybody is crazy to me. If you have 8 or 12 teams in the league, that is extremely saturated, and that means that you've only played against the best talent. There's only X amount of spots, and the best players are going to have those spots when you're playing against a smaller selection of talent and teams. So to say that somebody didn't play against any competition is ridiculous, and it's just downright stupid. So I get really aggravated when I hear there were only 8 teams. So that's exactly what makes it harder. I cannot imagine having to play against the Celtics every goddamn week for 82 games. I can't imagine that. I can't imagine the Lakers and the Celtics playing every couple of days. Imagine how exciting that would be for the NBA, for NBA fans. Definitely a lot more exciting than what we're watching today. Watching teams get blown off the floor by 50 and 60 points. Watching an all-star game go to over 200 points. No defense. I don't want to watch that. I want to see offense and defense, and I want to see all 5 positions on the floor playing. And I want to see a point guard initiate offense and work through the players and positions on the floor. That's what I want to watch. I want to see great shot selection. I don't want to see just shots being thrown up from logo just with a prayer that they're going to go in. Magic and Larry Bird made the NBA go upwards to where they were playing in the 1980s, to where the NBA finals were on tape delay back then. They came a long ways from that time and made it great. They did, and they deserve credit. They deserve credit for making the NBA a nationally televised game. NBA players today need to be thanking the past generations. They need to be thanking players like Bill Russell, what they fought for during a time when, it wasn't a really good time for these players to be a part of this league. And they have no idea what they fought for, what they went through in order for them to earn the paychecks that they earn now. And they don't even realize that they're still paycheck slaves. They don't even realize that they're a slave essentially with golden handcuffs. It's okay though. No credit for longevity until LeBron checks Shael Son, and longevity means nothing when you cheated. Look, I don't know if LeBron cheated, but it seems like there's something there. To me, where there's smoke, there's fire. And, he's not addressing it. He can address the smallest picayune things, but he can't address that. And it's really crazy to me how, he'll try to clap back at Kwame Brown for something silly and stupid, but he can't address the claims that he's been cheating his whole career. That silence speaks louder than anything else that he's saying. LeBron could play 30 seasons and he will never catch Jordan. I mean, that's why he's never going to catch Jordan. You can't play 30 seasons with 4 rings. It's just the money is getting to their head, the amount of money they are making. So they think they have the right to talk about veterans. Get some jewelry on your fingers first. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's like Ben Simmons. I don't think Ben Simmons likes basketball. I think he just likes jewelry and clothing. I agree with you, young disciple, as well. So like that's part of why I don't think that we can necessarily jump to the conclusion that LeBron has been cheating. I don't think that that's been I don't think that we can land the plane on that. But I do think that LeBron should have addressed him. I don't think that LeBron takes Kwame Brown seriously, but he addressed him. And if you're going to stoop to that level, why not address somebody that's accusing you of cheating? Why not address the multiple people that have accused you of cheating? Because I remember Max Kellerman accusing him of being on PEDs as well. So, he's just never addressed it. And that's the problem. He's never said anything about it. So I think there's an opportunity for him to come out and speak if this is not true. But I do believe there's something there. He might not be doing anything illegal, but there's just something to the silence that he's not answering to this claim at all. How do we call in from outside of the US? Very good question. Let me get back to you on that. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not exactly sure on that. I think if you have an iPhone, then you should be able to call from Wi-Fi. I think if you have any phone, you should be able to call that number that I place on the screen on Wi-Fi. That's my best guess, but I will get you an answer on that. So y'all telling me that y'all haven't seen older players downing players of today, then when players of today do the same, it's a problem. Trilgoon, I want to address that because that's really important. And I think that that's part of why the young players today come so hard with it, because older players have called them soft. And when you're calling a man soft, that's his manhood. That's, there's a lot to unpack there. And I don't think that the old heads are trying to insult them personally. But I think that they are disappointed in the brand of basketball that's being played right now by the NBA. I think that they're truly disappointed by defense being removed from the league. And the fact that they are coming out and calling themselves the greatest of all time. Right now, there's a report of Andre Drummond saying that he's the greatest rebounder of all time. That's just not true. Statistically, it's not true. So when you're coming out with lies, it's hard not to come out and say something. It's very hard. When players come out with zero accountability post games, when they are load managing, they're not playing games, all of these things I think would cause a player from the past generation to come out and speak on it. So when they call these players soft, I mean, it's the truth. So when they say it, they're speaking the truth. Is it rude? Can it be seen as disrespectful? Absolutely. And when something is true, it hurts even more. So these old heads, they're criticizing the game today, which I think that they have the right to do because they've played it. Is there a better way to do that? For sure. For sure. But when I just think, I think that the old heads are coming with a little bit more fact, and the younger guys are lying. And that's the problem. That's where I have an issue. Say how you feel. Say that you don't appreciate them calling the game soft. The game is not soft. We defend, we do this. Say respond to what you're trying to say. Like even when Charles Barkley spoke on LeBron not wanting to compete, LeBron made it about a husband, being a husband, a father. They get personal, which I don't understand. Like these players are not calling, like the older generation, they're not calling like a particular player soft outside of the game. They're saying that the game that they're playing right now is soft. There's no defense in it. There's no physicality. These are facts. But to say that Wilt Chamberlain didn't really score 100 points, that's what Austin Reeves said. To say that no player back in the day had skill, these are lies. At least when you are going to clap back, I need you to say the truth. Clap back. Clap back. That's your right to do, but say things that actually make sense. Because this battle of the eras, I don't see it disappearing. It's going to continue. I think the conversation is going to continue because we've exhausted the GOAT debate. People have recognized, okay, like there's only so much we can squeeze out of debating whether or not LeBron or whoever is the GOAT. That conversation is going to continue in the background. But right now, the battle of the eras is, to me, that's at the forefront. And it's grounded in, trying to call players today the GOAT. It's grounded in trying to give them recognition for what they do or don't do. So if you don't win, you must be recognized and be given some kind of award that's not real. If you do win. It might be minimized depending on who you are, if you are not the media darling of that moment. So it's a very interesting time and in a very, I would almost say, volatile climate for the NBA. Older players always bash current players. I think the younger players are bashing them. I think the older players are calling the game how they see it. I think they're calling the current environment, culture in the NBA how they see it. I don't think it's bashing to be critical of what's happening in basketball. You're not bashing them as a person to say, hey, this is a much softer league. This is a cookie cutter league. That's what people say, right? That's not bashing the player. That's talking about the game. That's keeping it hoops. So that's where I disagree. But I think that the older players kind of started this by using words like, these young guys are soft. And I do think that that's what kicked it off and tipped it in a way where it's just causing them, they're losing it. They're crashing out and they're making up lies. So when the truth doesn't work, you just start lying. When the hate doesn't work, you just start lying. And that's what's happening. They can't accomplish what older players, have set as far as a standard is concerned. So they must go around that and make things up. Because when you make things up, that's a perfect deflection. People are trying to research that, figure out if it's true. That's what you spend your time doing instead of focusing on the fact that Anthony Edwards has no title right now. He's not a winner. And should he be? He's only been in the league a few years, so we're not really expecting that. But he's talking pretty big for someone who hasn't won anything, and that's Magic Johnson's point. So let's move on to the next topic. We are going to chat about Bronny James. And for those of you who have just joined, if you could please, smash the like button for me and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Okay. So moving on to the next topic. Bronny James. And here we go with Magic Johnson again. He didn't just annihilate Anthony Edwards. He didn't just, send him somewhere else completely. Like, he was then asked in the same interview by Jimmy Kimmel whether or not he thought that LeBron and Bronny, if they were going to be a good thing together and if it's going to work out. So here's what Magic had to say.
LeBron is going to be playing with his son, Bronny.
Yes.
Which is interesting. I mean, I think it's just like showering with your dad after the game.
It's
weird
still
thing
weird.
to go back to, you know?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you think that is going to be a comfortable situation? That can go one of two ways.
Oh, it can go one or two ways.
Yeah.
If I'm Bronny, I would tell my dad, just let me play in the G League all season so that I can develop. He needs playing time. He doesn't need to be sitting on the Laker bench and not playing. That's not a knock against him. He's just not ready. He needs to develop more, and then he will be ready because he has some great talent and skills, but he needs to develop those skills at a much better clip if he wants to play 15, 20 minutes a night in the NBA or more.
So you think LeBron is making him play in the NBA?
I wouldn't say that.
Oh,
because I don't know that.
Right.
But if I'm his father, like LeBron is,
mm-hmm.
he needs to develop. It's just that simple. The Lakers have done a wonderful job of developing players.
Mm-hmm.
Caruso, you see, and so all these guys have developed under the Laker G League coach. So they've done a good job of bringing guys up and playing them in the NBA.
What do you think about the fact that the Lakers hired a new coach, JJ Redick, who has never coached before? You've been in that situation. Right. And would you coach 16 games?
Oh, don't bring that up.
Yeah. But after you coach 16 games, you're like, I don't want to do this.
It wasn't even for me when I coached the 16 games. It's hard to go from where he was to the coach now. Because remember, he was criticizing guys. Now you got to come and coach these guys that are in the NBA, in that locker room. So He's a very intelligent man. I give him that. He's smart. He knows the games frontwards and backwards. Also, analytic wise, he's really intelligent too. Now, can that transfer to the court, right? Can he now get the guys to play the way he wants them to play, have a great system on both ends, offense and defense, and can he make adjustments within the game? That's going to be the key for me. Then I know if he's a great coach. Because if a team goes on a run, can he make an adjustment to stop that run?
Right. So you're saying if he's a great coach, then you'll know he's a great coach.
Okay. So, sheesh, I felt like Magic Johnson actually went blood on LeBron. In my opinion, it sounds like he's criticizing him as a father. And pretty much saying, what kind of father would make a spectacle of his own child in this way? Is LeBron being an obsessed soccer mom, or is LeBron being an egomaniac? A legacy patter, or a goat chaser, a ghost chaser of Michael Jordan? Which one is it? Is it a little bit of everything? Because that's what I think. I think LeBron wants to be able to say, my son played with me. Jordan was never able to do that. I think he wants to be able to say, I support my kid's dream, but who knows if this is Bronny's dream at all? I think he prefers to play video games, Call of Duty, I hear he's really good at that. Maybe he's meant to be a gamer. I don't think he's meant to play basketball in the NBA. I agree with Magic. He's for sure not ready. And honestly, I don't even think he's good enough for the G League. What do you guys think? Call in. Would love to hear from you guys on this topic. Like, what do you guys think about what Magic Johnson said and how he really went on Jimmy Kimmel Live to say that he should have told his father to keep him in the G League all season long? I also think that there's another aspect of this. Honestly, I think that, the Lakers are seeing that there's already been talks of Bronny going to the G League. So Magic Johnson also talked about the Lakers doing a great job of developing players. And, maybe he's trying to make it sound good for Bronny to go to the G League. I don't know, but it sounded like kind of like, how dare, you and your father do this? You don't belong. You don't belong here. That's what it sounds like to me. I'm going to read some comments in the meantime. Let's see. I'll put the phone number up again if anybody wants to call in. All right. We have a caller. Caller from Maryland. Talk to me nice. This is Dominique from Sports Tea. What's your name? Oh, 1 second. Whoops. I'm so sorry. What's your name?
Henry.
I'm so sorry. Henry?
No, it's right hand Cam.
Oh, right hand Cam. What's going on? Good morning.
How you doing? Good morning. I really do believe that Bronny should have stayed one more year in college.
Yeah. I think he needed more time.
Because he's not even developed right. Magic hit it right on the head. Right on the head.
Yeah. I agree.
I don't know
he needed to develop.
Yes. And to see him now, I'm like, okay, what you gonna do? Why did you put your son? Why did you put your son in that predicament? Why?
To be embarrassed, right? To be spoken about every day, to be a spectacle. That's really what it is. This is a spectacle to me. And what's funny is that I've never heard of an NBA player going into the NBA and needing to develop. You don't develop into an NBA player. You are one or you are not one. And you continue to work on your game. You might develop into a different kind of player, but you don't develop into an NBA player. You're either a pro or you're not. And you're a pro before you get there. It's just like even in my job, my everyday work that I do, if I'm going to be getting promoted, I need to be acting in the role that I want. You don't just get promoted. It's not how it works. You have to show, your ability to do that job ahead of time.
You're right. You are right. Well, that's all I wanted to say. Hope I'm enjoying the show. Hope you have a great day.
Thank you so much, Right Hand Cam. Call in anytime, buddy.
You're welcome. Yep.
Chicago Bulls fan. My favorite player growing up was B.J. Armstrong, 3-time world champion and all-star. I would be in a wrong to prop him up to say he's the greatest player based on championships. Okay. Stevie J, young decipher. It's the other way around. Not sure what that was about. Magic basically said Bronny is trash. What I also heard was that, LeBron needed to step in. If LeBron wasn't going to make the decision for Bronny to get more time, that Bronny needed to be an executor of his own life and take control of that and say, hey, Dad, like this, I'm not ready. But it's hard to do that, right? I think it's hard for Bronny to do that. And I feel bad for him in a lot of ways because he wants to make his dad proud. I think that's a tough position to be in, but at what point are you complicit in that? And I thought it was really funny. Oh, there's a caller from Georgia. Carla from Georgia, talk to me nice. This is Dominique.
Hey, Dom, it's Ray again. I spoke to you earlier. I had to call back in. I was going to go to sleep, but I had to call back in.
Call me anytime.
So I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and I'm trying to say this without being as biased because how I feel about LeBron just being from Cleveland.
Yeah.
Magic, he kind of was a little insulting. I feel like that. I personally feel like Bronny isn't there yet, but on a day-to-day basis, we can only assume. Well, I can only assume with Bron being his dad, D-Wade, his uncles, and the knowledge and the time and effort he put in there. It just, to me, it's just the perfect opportunity. Tomorrow, like I'm a father. I'm a single dad. I have 2 sons. If I had that opportunity, go back to school, do this for another year, tomorrow's not promised. I'm probably going to take that opportunity because the development is going to come. He has more access and knowledge than any. I mean, his father is the king. I'm just being biased right there. But I feel like Magic was a little insulting. I don't think Bronny that developed. But at the same time, it is a business. And it's like what Caitlin Clark, look at the impact she's done. I've been watching WNBA since it started. Now you have people who didn't give the women their flowers to now. Now you got this Angel Reese and there's a ton of others who now you got viewers and you get to tune in. I'm looking forward to, even if Bron plays 3 minutes in the third quarter, he gets in there and throw the first lob to his dad or hit the 3-pointer or whatever. It's exciting. It's going to be exciting. And it's not even really, I don't look at it as a gimmick. I just look at it as the perfect opportunity. And you made a nice comment when you said, yes, he could say that to Jordan. Hey, I did this. Jordan couldn't do it. Nobody else has done it. It's just a milestone. I don't know if it's a legacy or clout chasing, but if I had the opportunity to play with my son, damn well best believe we're going to do it.
I honestly, I think that it is going to be really exciting when Bronny throws an alley-oop to LeBron. I believe that. And I said this before, maybe like a while ago. I forget if it was on my channel or Man Down, but there's like a video going around with LeBron and Bronny in it. And it's just, honestly, it made me cry a little bit. It was just so special, so nice. He's holding Bronny. You just see this journey of him since he's a baby and now both of them being in the league. So I think them playing on the court together is really special. It is a really great father-son moment, but I don't think that Bronny James belongs. And I do think that he has taken a roster spot from someone that, needed it more. I don't think this is an opportunity for Bronny. I think that this is, I think it's wrong. I just think that this is about LeBron and his legacy. I think it's less of an opportunity for Bronny and more about LeBron. And I'm disappointed because basketball and athletic accomplishments. They're predicated on true athletic success. You can't
You're right.
you can't inherit that. It'd be one thing if LeBron gave his son an investment banking job, or just passed down his production company, or even made him an owner in whatever team he's going to own. Like
That makes sense.
all of that makes more sense to me than you trying to make fetch happen, than you trying to make him into an NBA player when he's just not. It
True.
doesn't add up for me. So like, I'm okay with LeBron doing things for his son. I think that meritocracy in sports is really important, and we need to keep the integrity in that as much as we can. People will say, oh, there was nepotism before. A lot of those sons of former NBA players were legit NBA players in high school, in college. We knew they were going to be somebody. Austin Rivers,
True.
he kind of like was shaky in the NBA, but he was a legit NBA player. Like he was that guy in high school and college. He balled out in the McDonald's game. He balled out in college. Like he wasn't trash. He was way better than Bronny. He was a lottery pick. Doc Rivers can't make him a lottery pick. You know what I'm saying? If you're not good, you're not a lottery pick. That doesn't just happen that way. So I think that, something tells me that LeBron and Bronny are complicit in this. I do feel bad for Bronny because, he's young. He wants to make his dad proud, and that's something that I think all kids want to do. So
True. Okay.
I really respect your call, and we don't agree on this topic, but that's okay.
It's okay. That's what it's about.
Like, it's okay for you to be biased and to state that you're from Cleveland, you loved LeBron's career, and there's a whole lot to celebrate in LeBron's career. So he's done a lot, he's accomplished a lot, he's one of the greatest sports heroes that we're going to see. And I don't happen to believe that he's the GOAT. I don't think he's not going to be in my top 10 or make it, he's not going to make it into my top 10. That's not going to happen. But
top 10.
No. I don't. I have him on a separate list of guys who stack the deck. I compare him to players in his era only. I don't think that he's meant to be compared to past generations. The game was just so different, and I can't judge you the same when you didn't face the same kind of game. The landscape of the game changed entirely too much for me to say, okay, well, LeBron would have done this. Would he have? I don't know.
Who would you? Let me ask you one more question.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you, and that's an interesting point you make. All right, so if you had to, if LeBron wouldn't be in your top 10, who would be? You probably, like I said, I just tuned in. I'm new, so you may have already covered this. Who will be your starting five in each position?
So that's tough. I did give my top 5, and I didn't do it based on position.
Oh.
If I had to do my starting 5, I'd probably go. So I don't know that I need Magic Johnson at the point. I don't know that I need him there, but he's in my Mount Rushmore. So when you're talking about starting 5, I think it's a different conversation, because those are the players that you're picking to win ball games for you, right? So it's a little tough for me to say, oh, well, like I said, Magic is in my top 5, but I don't know that I'm starting him in this top 5. I might roll with Steph Curry, have Michael Jordan at the 2, might have Kobe Bryant at the 3. Perhaps Hakeem Olajuwon at the center position, and maybe even Shaq as a power forward, or maybe Tim Duncan just for the fundamentals. You're putting me on the spot, but that's okay. This is a really good conversation to have, and I'll do a topic on it just because you brought it up. So what do you think about that top 5? What do you think about that top 5?
I actually like you said, if I had to go by, just first of all, I'm gonna have Shaq at the 4, Olajuwon at the 5, the greatest big man with the best feet work ever, in my opinion. That's my 2 down. I have to say Jordan. You can't not say Jordan. He's going to be at the 2. I've got Bron at the 3, and then when it comes to the point guard, it's kind of tough for me. I'm either going to go. Yeah, I'm probably going to go Penny Hardaway.
You know, I want to go. I loved Penny. He was honestly one of my favorite point guards. I added Steph in there for the scoring, for the 3-point shot making ability. I thought that I would add somebody in from this era so that, I just have a little bit of balance. But I love the Penny Hardaway pick. Just an incredible player. He would have, to me, been the next like Michael Jordan if he hadn't been injury laden.
Oh, I forgot. On the previous topic when we was talking, remember how we were talking about the generations and how you said it's a fraternity and they should pay respect.
Yeah.
Both sides. So would you say who's the greatest shooter ever right now?
The greatest
Everybody
shooter
knows
in the current NBA or just all time?
Either or. Because when you pass in the torch, it was at the 3. It was Reggie Miller. From the Reggie, it was Reggie Miller. Then it went to Ray Allen, and after Ray Allen, Steph just took it, but they all paid homage to each other. There was none of the back and forth. Well, the 3-point line is this way, and it's this many. Yeah. So I forgot to bring that up on the last one, but
yeah,
I'll be
greatest shooter. I loved Ray Allen's shooting. So
yeah, right.
Yeah, and he's a champion.
My move.
So
Good point.
Yeah, he's a champion. Reggie Miller is not a champion. So it's hard for me to call Reggie the greatest shooter when his shooting didn't lead to a title. And he was in the position to get a title a couple times.
You tough, but I respect it.
Yeah, I try to keep it consistent, but it's not always easy to do that. We all have our biases. Nope. For me, I'm biased toward really good basketball. I am biased toward big men. I appreciate high percentage shots. So, thanks for calling in, Right Hand Cam.
All right, for sure. Have a good night, though.
You too. Have a good one.
Peace.
All righty. Bye-bye. It's not that serious. Frankly, LeBron Sr. scammed through nepotism to get his son in the league. LeBron Jr., with all the resources he has available to him, on top of his dad being an all-time great, he's objectively a terrible player. It is what it is. It's just, it is what it is. Great comment of the day. All right, guys. I'll read some more comments and then we'll move on to the next topic. I think Bronny likes basketball, but it's very likely his pops rushed him to the NBA prematurely. This could be something that they both wanted together. He could have been wanting to get rushed as well. I just don't think he belongs. Regardless of how it happened, whether LeBron rushed him or he rushed himself or he was in compliance with it, however it goes, he just doesn't belong. Halloween's coming up and he's going to be in an NBA costume. I agree with you, Dominique. He's not greater league material, period. Dad seems domineering. I can see that. And I heard there was a report that they were practicing together and he's been yelling at Bronny in practice. That he took him to the hole and Bronny was guarding him. And afterwards he laid into Bronny. I don't know how true it is, but that's the report. LeBron started it by not even accomplishing as much as Kobe or Duncan, let alone Jordan. I think so. In ways, I feel like LeBron started it because he came into the league being the chosen one, wearing Michael Jordan's jersey number. 23 represents the best. When you do that, you're going to have a target on your back, period. When you say that you want to be the greatest of all time, you're going to have a target on your back. People are going to hold you to that Michael Jordan standard. So that's kind of where it all started from, in my opinion. But the disrespect started from, I think, when LeBron James had the decision. I think players of the past really didn't think much of that. They didn't like the decision. They thought that it was in poor taste. They thought him, making a spectacle of him leaving his team was just terrible, tacky, and he was teaming up. He was teaming up to go to somebody else's team. He was leaving his castle to go to another kingdom. And it didn't work for fans. Players of the past didn't like it. They thought it was a really whack move. And I think that that's where the chatter really started, especially when he said, not 6, not 7, not 8 titles that he was going to win in Miami. You're putting a target on your back, and LeBron James often does that. He put the target on Bronny's back. We all know that as well. We know he put the target on Bronny's back. Yeah. So we'll move on to the next topic. Lakers Media Day. It was a very, very interesting day. There was a lot to uncover in LeBron's comments about Bronny, as well as his comments on the Olympics. I really couldn't help myself but to burst into laughter at some points. I want you guys to hear what LeBron says about playing with Bronny.
JJ's talked about you taking more threes, playing off the ball a little bit more, stuff you've done in the past. But what are those conversations been like between you two in terms of like your role and maybe it shifting a little bit this season, if at all?
My role is whatever it takes for our team to win. I mean, listen, I can do whatever. I can literally do whatever on a basketball floor. So it's not hard to plug me into whatever that game, whatever, that moment needs to entail, or, so if it's me playing off the ball and JJ want me to shoot more threes, or if it's me playing on the ball and getting guys involved, I can literally do everything out on the basketball floor. So, I think it'll work well for our team.
LeBron, your relationship with JJ has evolved from competitor to podcast partner, now player coach. What have you learned in those evolutions, in those steps? And I guess specifically what have you learned, I know it's early stages, but just these past few months in that player coach relationship about JJ?
Well, we haven't got the work yet. We've had like our individual workouts and things of that nature, but we haven't actually had practice. But I know from being alongside of him and, having our pods and being a competitor, I know that he's detailed, super detailed when it comes to that. And I know our coaching staff is detailed from, going against them in the past and things of that nature. So that's what it's all about. I think, putting the work in and being detailed and us knowing exactly what we need to do when we go out on the floor, not only in a game situation, but practice, shoot arounds, film sessions, everything. That's something I know just because of my relationship previously before he became the head coach of the Lakers.
Well, actually, that was a soundbite of him talking about JJ Redick, his decision making, what he was going to be like as a player, and as a coach. Like, does he trust his decision making, essentially? And he also talked about how I guess I recorded that because I thought it was so hilarious when he said, I can literally do anything on the floor, really. So you can shoot. I don't think you can shoot, LeBron. I don't think that you can shoot free throws. I don't think that you can play defense anymore. You can do anything on the floor. If LeBron can do it all, I'm waiting, because I haven't seen him play defense in a very long time. I don't see him boxing out for rebounds. There's moments where I don't even see him run back on defense. So he can literally do anything on the floor is it's hard for me to kind of, believe that. Playing off the ball, what a joke. LeBron's role is whatever it takes to win now? Really? How about playing your position as a small forward and letting the point guard on your team do their job? He can literally do anything on the basketball floor. Since when? Last time I checked, LeBron can't shoot from 3 or shoot free throws. He disappears in the fourth quarters. He can't box out for rebounds. He can't play defense. What kind of response is that? He's basically saying, I'm LeBron James and my game is perfect. That's impossible. I would have loved to hear what LeBron is actually going to do differently, what he worked on in the offseason. I would have loved to hear that he, is working on taking better care of the ball. That would be nice to hear. He's just constantly leading in turnovers. I would love to hear how he plans to play off the ball. He's done it in the past. Like, it's a long, distant memory. Okay. Who will run the point if that's the case? Will it be D'Lo or will it be Bronny? Oh man. Imagine Bronny running a point guard. He knows that JJ is a good coach because they did a podcast together. And he's never coached before, but he knows that JJ is a good coach. LeBron is full of shit. JJ is there to develop Bronny because Bronny's game is equal to that of the 8 and 9-year-olds that JJ used to coach. Miss me with the bullshit today, please. Like, please. What I know is that LeBron and JJ Redick are in alignment about whatever the agenda is because they've always pushed narratives together. And JJ is working for LeBron. Unless the relationship goes sour and he can't handle getting blamed when they lose, someone has to take the blame. And the question is, who will be the scapegoat for LeBron this season? I think JJ, LeBron, and Rich Paul have already decided who that person's going to be. Or it's probably going to be multiple people. Because they've worked so hard to build JJ Redick's credibility, I don't think they're going to tear him down. So he can't be the scapegoat like every other coach has been. So something tells me it's going to be Austin Reeves, D'Lo, Rui Hachimura, and even Anthony Davis. And then somehow the team will stink it up so bad that there will be a case to put Bronny James in the lineup. And voila, LeBron starts yelling at him for his own turnovers and screaming on him to get back on defense as he hangs out on one side of the floor just watching. So I don't believe that LeBron is just so super open to playing off the ball unless what that means is somehow Bronny is inserted into the lineup. I can't. But I think this is the soundbite where he talks about playing with Bronny. I'll play it for you guys now.
Hey, LeBron. I think when people talk about your length of career, they think about all the physical endurance you've had, but what's underrated is the mental hurdles of getting through the monotony of doing the same thing year after year after year. You mentioned Bronny giving you some additional life. What are some of the ways that you think playing with him and just sort of having that new idea and that new challenge and that new relationship on the team are going to help you deal with all of that stuff?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously it's the first time, so I don't know. But I think just in the sense of just seeing, him continue to grow as a basketball player, no matter if it's here up, with us or if it's, down with the G League team and him continue to get better and better and better. I don't know what that even looks like. His job is to, put the work in, get better and better, just like the rest of us. And we want to hold him accountable. He's going to hold us accountable, and everybody, if we all do that, we all get better, because we're all one team, We're a reflection of the South Bay. South Bay is a reflection of us, so if we're all getting better and we're all preaching the same things, then it all works in everybody's favor. So, there's no substitution for hard work and continue to grow and stacking days. And I know he's going to do that because that's just what he's about.
Hey, Bron, good to see you. Ahead of this historic moment, you mentioned that you and Bronny discussed certain things such as, he's not allowed to call you dad on the court. What other things have you guys discussed behind the scenes to make this milestone work? And in addition to that, we all know when you expressed that this dream started for you, but personally, when did you decide it was your dream to play with your son?
Well, I mean, we don't, to be honest, if you have kids, I mean, at my age and his age, there's not really much interaction going on a day-to-day basis. I mean, he comes down, he eats, he goes to his room, plays a video game. I'm down there with my wife. We watching a movie and stop in. So it's not much like, hey, meet me at the table at 5:00. We need to discuss work tomorrow. No, that doesn't happen. But I mean, he's been in this rim of the game of basketball since he was born, obviously. I've played in the NBA longer than he's been alive. So, he understands the nuances of it as far as just being around the game. But now he's a man and it's time for him to learn and get better with that. So I guess I don't know if he's even coming up here, you can ask him the questions of how he feels about it. I know I'm super happy for him. Our family's super proud of him. And, that's pretty much it. I mean, if we get a couple opportunities out on the floor throughout the course of the season, obviously that's going to be amazing. It'd be awesome, and, we wait for that moment when it happens and then go from there.
Oh, man. LeBron. The problem is not Bronny being in the NBA. I want to be clear on that. The problem is not even with Bronny playing for the Lakers. The issue is that LeBron, Clutch Sports, JJ Redick, the Lakers organization, and La Media are trying to convince the American public that Bronny is a qualified NBA player. That's what they're trying to convince us of. And not that LeBron's son is going to be wearing an NBA costume just in time for Halloween. It's frightening and scary that we have people trying to convince us that Bronny is a 3-and-D guy. And we've never seen that. Then he shoots 0 for 1 million from 3 in the summer league, and Rich Paul goes on Pat McAfee's. Hold on, guys. We have a caller. Good morning. Oh, no. Okay, I don't know what happened. Okay, well, back to the take. Let me see. Let me shut this off. So like I was saying, it's frightening and scary to me that like Bronny, he can go 0 for 1 million from 3 in a summer league. And Rich Paul can go on Pat McAfee's show to say that he's going to be known for his defense. So first he goes from 3-and-D, and now he's going to be known for his defense. And the Lakers are going to utilize him on the defensive end. That's interesting to me because I thought that the league removed defense for LeBron so that he can have open lanes to drive while his teammates wait in the corner to shoot the ball. But now, after a grand total of 22 years, the league is going to bring defense back for Bronny so that the Lakers can utilize him. That's nonsense. The Lakers can't even afford to have a guy that's just punchy on defense. We saw that failed experiment with Pat Beverly. Patrick Beverly was not a good catch and shoot player for LeBron, and his defense wasn't even good enough to make it past the All-Star break. I'm pretty sure he was traded by either before or right by the All-Star break, I believe. Bronny is not better than Patrick Beverly. So the idea that he can be on the floor to defend is laughable. LeBron is not good enough on offense to carry a guard that can't shoot threes for him. Bronny can't shoot threes. We've seen that. He's going to occasionally airball layups and shots from the free throw line. Yeah, shots that are free. I remember my coach would sit us right on the bench if we ever airballed from the free throw line. But anyway, what happened to like LeBron's tweets when Bronny was still in high school? He was talking big about Bronny. Does anybody remember that? I'm going to show you guys the tweets. So I don't know if you guys can see this, but I know you guys remember talking about it. And I know that Man Down has talked about this before in the past, but I'm going to bring this back up. LeBron, he just talked about Bronny potentially going to the G League. He made it seem like it was a foregone conclusion that Bronny might play a game or two or a few games with him, but he's going to the G League. Or that, wherever he plays, he's just grateful to support him. That wasn't what he was saying before. 2023, when Bronny was still in high school, man, Bronny definitely better than some of these cats I've been watching on League Pass today. Shit's lightweight hilarious. March 6, 2023. So you're watching League Pass and you're insulting the rest of your peers in the league by saying that your son is better than all of them and that, he can be in the league right now and suit up for the Lakers. Then you fast forward to his college year And granted, Bronny, he suffered cardiac arrest, and that was very unfortunate. I would have not let him play personally. I would not have let him come back to the sport. I can't imagine how difficult that decision was to make as a family. I don't know what was going through LeBron's mind when his son recovers and the question comes up about whether or not he should play, but he didn't play well in college at all. So let's just get that right out of the way. Bronny, he was removed from the first round draft list. Okay. And all of a sudden, LeBron is tweeting about letting Bronny be a kid. Here it goes. Can y'all just please let the kid be a kid and enjoy college basketball? The work and results will ultimately do the talking no matter what he decides to do. If y'all don't know, he doesn't care what a mock draft says. He just works, earned and not given. Interesting. Because I heard that LeBron forced him to have a spot on the McDonald's squad. Okay. I heard that he even forced for, Bronny to shine in that game. So it's earned, it's not given. It's not adding up. Stop lying to the American public by saying that Bronny earned his way. He didn't. He's been given the best resources. And he should have the best resources and opportunities. These are opportunities that he's been given. As if he can inherit athletic success, which you cannot. And we're seeing that he can't actually capitalize on it. So imagine a guy with talent through the roof that gets these same resources. Imagine what he'd be able to do. Bronny he's just not a real NBA player. I mean, look at the Lakers. Look at them. This is their starting five. This is their bench. Bronny being on the bench next to Gabe Vincent. They're gonna clearly make a case that this team sucks so bad, and Bronny's gonna be in the starting lineup. I mean, maybe he won't. I don't know, but to me, they're either doing one of two things. They're trying to trick us all and make it a big surprise that he's going to be in the starting lineup, or he really is going to the G League. I don't know. But yeah, those tweets, LeBron said those things. He did. He is the person that made those comments and said those things. It wasn't surprising to me that Bronny didn't play well in college. He wasn't a breakout star on Sierra Canyon either. In high school, he wasn't good. He wasn't a star. He wasn't horrible. He didn't suck in high school, but he wasn't the star of the team. He wasn't the best player on his team. I don't even think he was the second best player on his team. Amari Bailey was the star of that team. Guess where Amari Bailey is now? Take a wild guess. The G League. He was drafted and quickly cut by the Hornets. He was never given a guaranteed deal. He's in the G League. Imagine how he feels about Bronny playing for the Lakers when he wasn't better than Amari Bailey at any point and still isn't. It's disheartening. It's deflating. And LeBron wants to talk about earned and not given. It's pathetic. LeBron wants the praise. He wants the acclaim for Bronny, but not the truth about his actual game. What do you guys think? Will Bronny spend time in the G League? That's what I do want to know. There's LeBron also continues to talk about the Olympics and what his time was like playing in the summer. I'm going to play that soundbite for you as well. I thought that it was really interesting what he said about the Paris Olympics.
You mentioned the joy, being in the moment. Was there something this offseason with the game of basketball that you were reintroduced to that you might have lost touch with?
That I lost touch with? No, I don't ever lose touch with with the game of basketball, but it felt damn good to play it felt great to play meaningful basketball, like literally play for the highest level. We had like 2 game 7s back to back, one versus Serbia and then that last one versus France, where it was like, oh shit, this is why those text messages went out. This is why those calls happened. That fire and desire was brought back to me. That I was like, okay, this is what it was all about. This is why we all came together and, called ourselves the Avengers. To have that feeling again, where you're playing like meaningful, real, every possession means something. If you make a mistake, it burns you, things like that. That was good to relive that moment, going against those 2 great, teams.
Hey, LeBron, to flip it a little bit, actually quite a bit. I'm sure you saw the news about Dikembe.
Okay, so just to close the loop on his comments on Bronny, did you guys notice that LeBron is making it okay for Bronny to play in the G League? He's making it okay. He said that he was better than guys on League Pass. I think that LeBron is distancing himself from hyping up Bronny because it's making him look bad. If his son was a bust in college and the pros, when he was saying how great he was and how much better he was than guys playing in the league now, he felt like Bronny could suit up for the Lakers in high school. Is it the bad summer league outing that's forcing him to see that Bronny's not really ready for the NBA? Was it a conversation with someone that he respects? Is JJ Redick and Jeannie Buss saying, send his ass to the G League because this is not it? Is Rich Paul telling LeBron not to force it because his legacy won't recover? I want to know. Maybe Bronny can't handle the pressure, but something tells me he was born for the cameras and the bright lights, just like a Kardashian. That's what my gut tells me. But the best part of LeBron's comments about the Paris Olympics was the fact that he said he was grateful to be playing meaningful basketball again, where every possession counts against teams who only had one number 1 option on their goddamn team in Serbia and France. So that those were the equivalent of 2 game 7s. Really? They beat every team. How is this the highest competition? Do you guys notice that every time LeBron does something, he was the Olympic MVP? So that must have been the highest of the highest competition ever. You played with 10, 12 number 1 options on your team. Serbia had 1 number 1 option in the NBA. 1. I don't even think they had 5 NBA players on that team. But they had 1 number 1 option in Jokic who cannot run or jump or dunk the damn ball. And we're saying that was a really hard game to play? He ought to be ashamed of himself. France, you had 1 number 1 option on that team and a rookie Wembanyama who literally looks like you can blow him over with the wind. The world is not catching up. We need to stop with this bullshit narrative. The world is not catching up. USA is still American players are the best players in the world, period. And we need to stop this. And it really is a shame that LeBron needed 10 number 1 options on his team in order to get past these other foreign teams that barely had any NBA players on it. Completely ridiculous. If Joel Embiid plays for France, what would have happened? Steve Kerr had the luxury of playing all these number 1 options. At least 9 of 12 of the guys on their team were the number 1 option on their teams in the NBA. But LeBron was struggling with Jokic and Wemby. It's sad. It's pathetic. He's admitting that the NBA isn't real basketball. That's what he just admitted, that the game he's been playing for however long is not real basketball. He doesn't want to play one-on-one because it's not real basketball, so he says. Yet the NBA regular season is never real basketball either. So LeBron just plays in a fantasy world trying to be the GOAT. He's always saying something that, in my opinion, is meant to be something, and it just goes totally left every time. It goes the wrong way, or it shouldn't have even been said. He's part of this league where the possessions don't count. He's part of this league where basketball isn't real. This is an indictment on yourself. How did it get like this? I don't ever want to hear that LeBron or anyone else comparing him to these guys that played in the past. I don't ever want to hear that LeBron is the GOAT saying things like this. He's grateful to play meaningful basketball in the Olympics. That's what he wanted to get back to. That's what he lost touch of, was meaningful basketball. That's crazy to me. I do want to highlight a comment from Bronny during media day. I'm going to play it for you guys now.
Bronny, today obviously surreal for a bunch of different reasons, but not try to take your dad out of it for you to accomplish this, especially considering what had happened last summer. How special has today been? Has today been kind of a pinch me day a little bit for you?
Yeah, for sure. All the cameras and stuff that are going around feels good, but the work is yet to come. I'm just looking forward to coming in and working with my guys and competing every day, because that's really what I want to do, and that's what I wanted to do since I started taking basketball seriously. So I'm just coming in and trying to be my best every day.
Guys, good to see you both.
Bronny mentions that the cameras are nice. Really? So, why won't the James family do a reality show? Basketball isn't about cameras. It's about, can you hoop? I get it. This is a pinch me moment for him because he doesn't belong. He thought that he would be somewhere playing Call of Duty, not playing professional basketball, trying to prove that he can be a 3-and-D player when he's not a good shooter. He has a set shot like his father and a slow release. He's way too small to be 3-and-D. Those guys are like 6'8". I just wish that Bronny stayed in school. But what do you guys think about this? Is LeBron trying to walk back his initial comments about Bronny and trying to save face? Call in. Let me put the number up for you guys. I'll read some comments. Great engagement, guys. I love all these comments that you guys are making. Looking forward to hearing from you guys. Call in. Bron's the only player with 2,000 mid-range shots made and 2,000 made threes with 10,000 assists, 10,000 rebounds. I mean, these are really great numbers. They're really great stats. I wouldn't deny that these are great statistics to have. I just think that stats need to lift your team. So if you have really great stats, you need to be able to reach back and lift up your team. If you're not doing that, then the stats don't really matter. Not to me. I don't value stats as much as I value really great basketball being played. So if you, like I said earlier in the show, if you decided to pass it to the guy on your team that had the hot hand instead of being that hero, I prefer that. I prefer truly playing in a way that elevates your team. And if you're not doing that, the stats don't matter. To me, Luka Doncic is going to have that same stat line. He's probably going to end his career with 10,000 assists. But I don't agree with the way that he plays. It's star ball. You're gouging the points, the rebounds, the assists. You're being a point guard when you're not really a floor general. You're not truly focused on distributing the ball and setting up plays and setting up your teammates to score the ball. You're busy trying to control the pace of the game. And then what you're doing is you're essentially passing the ball to your teammates at the end of the shot clock so that they can try to score and do something when you couldn't. That's not really good basketball. Hey, Nino, give me a second to get you connected. Oh, no, something happened here. Let me call you back, Nino. Oh, no, you're still here. Okay. Hey, Nino, talk to me nice. Happy Tuesday.
What's going on? I got two things I want to get now. The first one with the brother situation, it's kind of to me, everybody got their opinion because we really don't know. Like we haven't seen him play. So opinion is opinion. I think that I don't find what Magic said disrespectful. I know it's a story. Everybody like to draw their own conclusions. But if you take what he said at face value, that he needs to go to the G League and play, basically he don't think he ready. That's a good opinion. That's not disrespectful. I don't find it disrespectful. I find it that's what Magic thinks. Magic thinks he needs to practice. And I agree with Magic saying too. Like I don't think he's ready right now to play 20, 25 minutes a game. Based off what I've seen so far. But will he make it? Is he an NBA player? I can't honestly say that because he's not one of the superstar players that we know supposed to play. So the role player guys, we just have to give them a chance to see what they do. He's like a role player guy. He's not like a Melo or way he's supposed to be. Bron and the rest of them guys. So the role player guys, he's getting attention just because his name Bronny James. So that's just what comes with it. I'm pretty sure they know what comes with that. We just have to wait and see on that. That's my opinion on it. That's just my opinion. We have to wait and see.
Yeah,
Everybody's gonna have their opinion.
And I get it. Like we can wait and see. It's just that like I've been waiting to see Bronny be like a great player since he was in high school and when he was in college and now. So there's been multiple points where I'm not seeing that he's a great player. Like he wasn't like if there was a glimpse of, okay, well, he was the best player on his high school team or he was, doing something meaningful for USC. But he didn't make an impact on a really bad team. That's not like even Caitlin Clark. Look what she did with Iowa. Look at the way that she was able to drag that team to 2 title games. And I don't think that she belonged there. But when you play for a bad team, you're able to shine. So why wasn't Bronny able to shine on a terrible USC team? Like that's the issue. Those are the issues that I have. That's why I don't think that you can get ready for the NBA in the NBA.
Well, I got a different take on the G League and how he plays. I don't think that'll never be Bronny's role. And I don't know if it's orchestrated. I don't know if he was taught to play. He kind of played the right way. Like I don't see him having the ball. Go to the G League, just get the ball and try to go for 50. I didn't see that in high school. Even the McDonald's game in college. I don't think that'll be if we waiting on that. I don't think he's gonna help.
Yeah.
And that don't always translate to being in the league. Well, it's a lot of guys that can score 50. They gotta have the ball, can go for 50 points. That won't make it in the league because the league already got a picking order. What can you do to help a team is different. Like a role, if you can fill a role. Now, if you don't believe Bronny can fill a role, I mean, I don't know if I believe it or not. I just want to wait and see because I'm not sure. So I respect everybody's opinion on that because I just want to wait and see.
This is just open dialogue. I see LeBron fans in the chat. You are more than welcome to call in and give your take as well. Honestly, all opinions are welcome here. Everyone is not going to look at these comments through the same lens, right? So I'm open to hearing something different and hearing, just a different point of view on it because how I see it might not be, maybe there's something that I'm missing, right? Because I'm always looking for those veiled messages. I'm looking for, the messages in between the lines and, some people are as well and they just hear different things. So, you're going
to be a star. Oh, now, one thing I did, now this is what I wasn't no car. I was just enjoying the show, enjoying a couple trolls in the chat. We having fun in the chat. But this, I ain't never heard you say this now. I disagree totally with the Olympic company. I feel like it was nothing wrong with it. It was honest conversation because the way you put it to me make it seem like just because there's better players on the team that it's not it wasn't 2 tough games. I'm gonna take it to like the college aspect. We've seen a lot of teams that clearly supposed to be the best team, but in one game situation, any team can get hot and you can lose. And Jokic, they do got Jokic now. Jokic is tough. To me, Jokic.
But who else
Jokic
did they
nice.
have? Who else did they have on Serbia? Make me understand
The
why that.
shooters, they had shooters.
But make
It's
me
basketball.
understand why that was a hard game for them. We don't have shooters on Team USA, and the 3-point line is close
But
there.
this what I've been. This what I think the evolution of the game. I agree with the post play and all that.
Okay.
But when you can shoot the basketball, the shooting basketball equalize a lot of things.
So you're
And
saying
if
that
you get
Serbia
hot,
had better shooters than we did?
They had players that can shoot the ball, and if you own that, it's not a series of three games. Anybody can get hot. You can go to the park. You play basketball, so you know you don't play the team that you might even supposed to beat, but they come out hitting, and you like, hold on, man, they put pressure on this. And in the playoff games, the team that hit will put you out. Because I've been put out by teams that we supposed to beat. They just got hot. So I disagree with that. I'm like, I disagree with that. And Jokic is still Jokic. Jokic might be one of the most skilled big men we ever seen. Top 5. Maybe, I don't know. I can't really say.
I'm just still not hearing why Team USA did not meet the spread in any game that they played throughout the entire series of the Olympics. They didn't meet the spread. They like these games should have been blowouts. So I disagree with that.
I disagree.
But why? Who does France have that should have been giving any of them trouble? Who does?
See, we do this in the league too. We going on names. You basically going on names. So like, who do they have? We got to go to guys, but it's only one basketball.
So here's the thing, Nino. When I watch the women's sport, I can tell you who they needed to worry about on the foreign teams, whether it was Germany, Belgium, France. I can name which players that they were something to worry about. There are teams that you go out there and play. There are players that you go out there and play, and you don't need to know their name because you want to know why. They're nothing to worry about. I want to know. I just want to know who were the players on Serbia and France that Team USA couldn't handle. Like, why?
Jokic and Wemby. They tough. Jokic and Wemby. Jokic is probably one of the top 5 players. Wemby gonna be rookie in 2 years.
He's a rookie, and they almost lost.
I'm pretty sure your show will be big. By then. So just answer my calls when I'm calling to your show in 2 years. You're gonna have a different tune.
I'm always gonna answer.
Wemby might be the best player. Wemby gonna be top 3 in the league in 2 years. That's how I feel. I feel like he up there now.
I think he's going to be a great player. I think he's going to be a great player, especially in this kind of defenseless league. Do I think that he would have been a great player, when there was a lot of physicality? I'm not sure. So, Wemby, I think, enjoys a level of physicality. He's definitely a competitor, and I appreciate him. But I don't know. I don't think that the world is catching up. I don't think that Serbia and France should have been anybody to worry about on either of those teams, and they should have been blowouts, but they weren't because LeBron was on the floor playing 20 plus minutes.
Oh, come on now.
That's why.
Come on now.
If you notice, even when they played against Serbia, LeBron could not defend and score. He could only do one or the other. I think he played about 5 minutes of defense on Jokic, and he couldn't do anything else. So when you have a player that only can play half of the game at any given moment, that's not a winning formula, and that's part of why we weren't blowing these teams out, in my opinion.
I disagree.
I mean, LeBron he had like record turnovers in the Olympics as well. I think he had he turned the ball over a lot. In games 1 and 2, he had 12 turnovers between those 2 games. Throughout the whole series, I think he had like 20. I think he had like 22 turnovers total over the 6 games. That's a lot.
He was doing some turning the ball over. But you know what he did? He was smart, and we seen it. We didn't give him credit to. Hold on, KD got the hot hand this game. Bron is orchestrating the point guard. Who? And then they say get the ball to Bron hand. We seen my boy Anthony Edwards in that Serbia game. We all seen him get in and look like, wait a minute, this might just be too much right here. Still carry. We seen them get hot, and we seen the veterans, them what you call them go-to number one players say, hold on, we're gonna show you how to do it, and we're gonna get the ball to the man with the hot hand. We seen in the Lakers game, AD had a hot hand against the Nuggets, and then Austin Reeves and D'Lo come down and jacking three. So it's a level of intelligence, basketball intelligence I'm talking about, that I think Bron and KD them brought to the league. But you can disagree with that. You can disagree. I respect that. But I just want to say, I think the world has caught up. If you look at the top 5, top 6 players, maybe, are you adding Canada in that too?
I'm so sorry. What did you
with
just
the
say?
world?
Am I?
Are you putting Canada with the world?
Anybody that's not Team USA, I'm putting them with the world. Canada was knocked out real quick. They were eliminated. And it showed. I mean, what the Olympics showed me is that Jamal Murray is really not the guy that we think he is. And even Shea Gilgeous, I mean, they played like poop, in my opinion. And it was just further evidence that the world is not catching up. When you had we had 2 or 3 number 1 options on Canada. We had Jamal Murray, we had Shea. I know we had Dylan Brooks. So, okay, we had 2 number 1 options on that team. And they didn't do anything. They looked like they got blown out. They got blown out.
Me and you share a different common degree of how, because I heard you talk about all the time, how we appreciate the whole team. Yeah, Jamal Murray is good for the Nuggets and the style of play and everything. They got Michael Porter spacing, and Jokic is Jokic. So Jokic makes the team. That's what
Can I tell you something, Nina? Can I tell you something? Olympic play. When you go into FIBA and when you go into Olympic play, it exposes players. That's exactly what it does, because it is who said it? Dennis Schroeder. It's straight basketball. It's straight coaching. It's fundamentals. It's really knowing how to play. And that is what is missing, I think, from the American League right now in this moment. So that,
but it's different rules, though.
But I mean, different rules. You either know how to play basketball or you don't. The rules don't vary by that much, But the thing is that Olympic play is more physical. They let a lot of they don't call everything in FIBA.
That's a fact.
And the 3-point line is closer, so that means it's easier for you to hit shots.
But it's the big man can camp out in the paint though. And they goal team. Like you can just camp out in the paint.
But who's bigger than Team USA? Who's bigger than Team USA? Who has better centers than Team USA? Joel Embiid played for us. He didn't go off and play for France. If he goes and plays for France, we easily get a bronze medal or a silver medal.
Oh man. Oh, I think Embiid was hurt though. He was out of shape. But I ain't gonna say he was out of shape. I think he was hurt. I hope he ain't out of shape.
Apparently, he's lost 30 pounds for the upcoming season. Good for him. I'm really excited to see if Philadelphia will make it out of the second round this year. But the very, to me, interesting thing about Embiid is he was exposed. He got fouled out in the Olympics because all those dirty like when you don't know how to defend, you oftentimes get yourself into bad spots, right? You get beat on defense, so you do something a little dirty, and all those dirty things that he did in the NBA, it got called in FIBA because you can't do that. He got exposed really quick, and I think that a lot of players do.
Oh man.
Because there's defense, you have to actually play the game as, prescribed. You cannot just make up your own form of basketball. You can't just travel 10 steps in the paint in FIBA. And we even
I think some guys could have adjusted though.
They did adjust. They did adjust, but my problem is that USA should have been blowing out all of these foreign teams. And it's disappointing when that's not happening, because it looks like the world is catching up, and that's not the case. They just play better fundamentals because defense and, the way you're supposed to play the sport has been removed from the NBA. It's just what Dennis Schroeder said. It's just what Dennis Schroeder said. NBA is about entertainment. It's about drama and storylines. It's not about actually playing the game in the purest way possible. It's not.
No,
When you have a 7-footer bringing down the ball that can't run, jump, or dunk the basketball, that's the league that we're playing in.
Who's 7-footer that do that?
Jokic. He can't run. He can't
Jokic
jump.
skilled now. Come on, Dominique. Come on now.
He can't
Jokic
run.
is skilled.
He can't run. He can't jump, and he can't dunk the ball. And he was
But he got skills,
a
though.
3-time MVP. I'm sorry, but there's a point where you need to have everything. For me to be calling you the greatest center, I need to see athleticism and I need to see skill. I need to see players that are the greatest players. The greatest players in position. Even if I'm going to call somebody a top 5 player in the league, you got to be able to do those things. He's winded just running up and down the court. He can barely run the floor. Yet he's playing a point guard position for the Nuggets. Gouging
but that's
points,
a different
rebounds, and
aspect, though.
We
didn't see the older players do what these guys are doing either.
Because it's not real. Because it's not real basketball. A 7-footer bringing down the court instead of being in the that's not real basketball.
It's a cheat code. They found a way to. They found a way to.
When a point guard can't do their job, when nobody else on the team is getting assists, that's an issue to me. And Jokic is skilled, and he runs a better offense than both Luka and LeBron. He moves the ball more on the Nuggets. They have much better ball movement. They have great shooters. They have great defenders. That's what separates, I think, Denver from the Lakers and the Mavericks and other teams that are not moving the ball. But Jokic is not. I think he's overrated.
Come with. Look at the. Listen. Hold on. We seen LeBron in this Jokic role now. And they couldn't do nothing with Bronny in the Jokic role for you got a double team on me. We said, y'all just picking on my boy because he old now. Y'all talking about old Bronny. But you said Jokic is overrated. Oh my God.
I do. I feel that way.
Help me in the comments.
I feel that he's overrated. I don't think he's a bad player. I think that he does a lot of things well. I think he's able to pass and assist the ball really well. Like I said, he moves the ball extremely well. But
overrated on defense then. Maybe you talking about defense. Not offense.
Yeah, I don't believe that a player should be most valuable player of anything if you don't defend. He's damn near a cone on defense. I have a problem with that.
I can respect that, because
I need complete players. I need two-way players. There shouldn't even be a saying that someone's a two-way player. A player plays offense and defense. There's two parts of the game, offense and defense, and you don't play only one of them. That's not basketball. That's not real basketball to just be offensive.
But I think that if the talent became so special, like Tony Allen, he wasn't too good on offense really, but his defense was tenacious. His defense was impeccable. He one of my favorite defensive players, but he really couldn't. He didn't have the offensive skills. But you can find a way to put him on the Kobe and Durant and let him look. This your only job, and you got players that's so great now. On like this, is what I'm saying about the MJ era. They just never. They wasn't prepared. I don't disrespect MJ like everybody else because I love basketball, and I'm a Bron fan, but I just love basketball. They didn't have. It's like getting a new car. And you don't even know, like the Tesla without the instructions. They didn't know what to do with MJ. It was a big man league. MJ come with that Bugatti, like Gilbert Arenas say. They never seen a Bugatti out there. They never seen this guy athletic, dunk on B, shoot. Like, hold on. So the game just shifted. Everybody wants to be Jordan. LeBron wore 23 because he wanted to be Jordan. Kobe calling MJ, calling them. They want to be Jordan. T-Mac, Vince Carter.
But
So
you
I
have
don't
to
think
do Jordan-like things. Kobe Bryant wanted to be like Jordan, and he really tried his best. And I'm not saying you have to be a carbon copy of Michael Jordan or be just like him or do exactly everything that he did, but you can't say you're better than somebody that you haven't accomplished more than. And LeBron hasn't accomplished more from a resume perspective, from a title perspective. Michael Jordan has 10 scoring titles. There is nobody in the history of the sport that has been able to do that. He was
but see,
MVP,
Bron put the
defensive player of
magic
the year.
on.
But all
Bron
I'm
went
saying
Jordan
is
that
that
magic.
LeBron has not accomplished more. He's not greater.
I mean, I don't really, I think he is because I don't really say, I really don't just say that LeBron defensively is greater than. I feel like you can look at a team
How
if he
can
was
you
on
be
your team
greater?
and you
How
can
can
pick
you be
off that.
greater when you can't do anything the best? He can't shoot the ball the best. He can't pass the ball the best. He can't dribble the best. He can't rebound the
He can't
best.
pass the best.
How can
LeBron can
he
pass
can't? He
the
can't
LeBron was
pass
the
the
best
best.
player, best passer in the league.
How is
In
he
his
the
era.
best passer of the league? How is that even
In
possible?
his
I get
era.
it. He's
I'm talking
played.
about when he was
I
coming
get
up.
it. He's got 10,000, assists. I totally understand that, but Magic Johnson is still beating him in assists and played way less
No, I'm
time.
talking
He
about
played
in
10 less
his
years.
era.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean in his era. Now, I ain't not saying he better passer than Stockton and Magic. I'm saying in his era,
I think Chris
he
Paul
was
is
he.
I think Chris Paul is a better passer.
Oh, Chris, come on now. Come on now.
He is an actual point guard. I think Jason Kidd is a better passer. I think that LeBron is overrated for his passing.
Oh, come on. Dominique, come on now. You got me with
I think
Jokic.
he's
Now
a
you
great
just
I think he's a
come on
great
now.
passer. I just don't think he's the best passer I've ever seen.
No, not well. See, not all that best you ever seen and the best. Like I even give. I think it's this. This is my philosophy on the GOAT. If I don't have a problem with people call Jordan the GOAT because Bron and Kobe and my
I
favorite
have a
player
problem with the GOAT conversation. So I don't think that the
wanted
GOAT
to be
I don't think that the GOAT actually exists. Okay, but I'll
me
give you
either.
this.
Me either.
I'll give
Really.
you this. I'll give you that LeBron is a great passer. Okay? Are we clear?
Look,
You feel good
we
about that?
clear. I feel good about that.
I love it.
I tell you like this on the GOAT. This one I'm gonna leave y'all. If you want to call if Jordan the GOAT, I go for that because my favorite players wanted to be Jordan. So I don't see like I heard Bron talk about him wanting to be Jordan going there. I heard Kobe wanted to be
I have a
Jordan.
caller from Texas. Let me take this, okay? Alrighty.
Okay, all
Thanks
right,
so
good.
much for calling. All right, bye-bye. Sports Tea, this is Dominique. Talk to me nice. Caller from Texas.
Hey, how's it going? Good morning. This is Miguel.
Good morning, Miguel. So nice to hear from you. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. It's good to catch you at a time where I'm actually awake and you're on. But
I love that for me.
I know it's random. We're all waiting. I kind of like it, to be honest. But
I'm going to try to come up with a better schedule. I'm just testing some things out. I'm trying to figure out, just like when is the best time. Sometimes but I'll figure it out.
no worries. Sometimes it's just trial and error, and you got to figure out your market. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I was just listening to the last caller a little bit, and it was, I felt it was time to call in. I was listening towards the tail end of what he was saying, and I kind of agree with you guys. Like, I don't think it's fair to put the GOAT on any one person. To me, I feel like there's a holy trinity of it. It's Kareem, Kobe, and Mike, in my opinion. The Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Those are the three greats of all time, in my opinion.
I love it.
And you go into some of these comments, like on in social media, you're starting to see a lot of LeBron James sexuals back off from that single man GOAT. They're starting to put LeBron James as their number 2 or number 3. They're just starting to back off from him being the greatest. I feel like some of them, and then the other half of them are just they're just going to straight up call you like a hater or something like, and that's all they can do. You're hating. Or come up with an opinion, like stop saying that, like, or call into one of our, the podcasts and give your, opinion. But, none of them do that. And it's just a little frustrating with some of them. But like I said, I feel like they're a dying breed. And it's starting to show a little bit. And I feel like LeBron James is noticing that too. And that's why he's starting to do these things. I'm not sure what's really going on right now, but there has to be a show going that they're in the making of or in the middle of. It just seems like they're creeping up on the end of season 2, or they're about to start season 3. I don't know, for the LeBron James show on Netflix, but that's what it seems to me. But going back to the media day, LeBron James is walking a fine line between, I truly think he's trolling us, and then the other half of him is just straight up being delusional. I think he already has his exit strategy already planned out. What's going to happen when the Lakers are 15 games under 500 with a month to go? What's going to happen when there's a couple injuries? Is LeBron James going to still try to play a full season? I think you can say that's not going to happen even if those other things didn't happen, and at the end of the day, I think he's also like taken away from Bronny. Let the rookie have his rookie moment. That should be his time. He just got drafted. He doesn't need his father. I mean, I know they're on the same. I know they're on the same team, and I know it's good for media. It's good for the NBA. It draws attention, and it's good for the LeBron James TV show. But at some point, let Bronny be himself and answer some questions. And LeBron James doesn't have to be there, but when he is, he's under the comfort that no one's going to challenge the narrative. No one's going to ask him about the Puff Daddy parties. Nobody's going to hit him with some critical thinking.
Do you think he was at the Puff Daddy parties?
I mean, I did see a picture of him in a French maid outfit. I don't know where else the hell he would take that picture at.
I don't think that that's a real picture. I think that that's photoshopped. I don't want to believe that LeBron was at the Diddy parties. I really don't.
I don't want to believe it either. And in my heart, I kind of don't think that's in his nature,
I just don't either. I think that a lot of celebrities went to a Diddy party at some point, and there's the earlier party, there's an evening party, and then there's probably the late night, action that that he's in trouble for.
Yeah.
And I don't think that LeBron was a part of that. That's, what I think, but I don't know what's true about that. So, but you're right.
Exactly.
Probably nobody's going to question this or ask about it.
And even when you say that there's a early party and after party, like even that could be a cover up, you just don't know, especially in Hollywood. Like they're just openly, some of the stories that I've heard that go down in Hollywood, they don't need a cover up. They do it in the open and everybody knows what's going on. Look at Harvey Weinstein, look at some of these producers, directors, they don't need to go that route. I feel like there's something going on with that Diddy thing. But anyways, like I was saying, LeBron James is going to say all this stuff with the comfort of no one's going to challenge him right now. And I get it. It's the Lakers media day. They're not going to bring up things that LeBron James doesn't want to hear. But, even when talking about Dikembe Mutombo, LeBron James makes it about himself. Really that's the only story you have of the guy, of him fouling you. There's nothing about the hospital in Congo, right? There's nothing about all of his humanitarian deeds. They played at the same time for several amount of years, and all you can think about is when he fouled you in the paint, like, okay, man, like we've all gotten a couple elbows, but Dikembe Mutombo was so much more than that, I feel. And you could have said something more, or at least put a tweet out about it. I don't know. I don't keep up with it that much, but and then he wants to talk about the Olympics. That's another part where I think he's like, that's not trolling us. That's him being delusional. And it's just like, for him to say that he's playing against the highest level of competition is just a cover up or an excuse for his struggles, for Team USA struggles. So you can just go back and say, well, we're playing the best in the world. And I don't feel like the world has caught up to us in the USA. For one, we're so much of a bigger country than every other country. We literally have thousands of more people to pick from, if we want to go get the best in the world. But also, it's like, how come nobody's asking them about the regular season? Why don't you talk about the regular season, LeBron? Why don't you talk about your plan on getting a better record than the Houston Rockets? Because I'm in Houston. I'm not in Austin. I don't know why they gave me this phone number, but I'm in Houston, and like those last couple months, it's like the Lakers are jockeying for position with the Houston Rockets, and the refs in the league are doing everything they can to try to get the Lakers an extra win here and there, and that's ultimately what happened, and it's hard to say much more because you start listening to LeBron and you just want to turn it off immediately because it's hard for him to put a sentence together. It's hard for him to put several sentences together. He's got to start talking like he's on Twitter or something like that. And it shows, that he doesn't really grasp the English language the way a college student does. And that's fine.
Look, the whole entire family has had, I think, less than 12 months of college education. So, the whole not being able to articulate and speak properly, like that doesn't bother me as much as just the messages and the narratives that he's perpetuating. Some of it is dangerous, it's almost like misinformation. So
yeah, it is. And it's because he's the leader of the narrative. It's not just him controlling coaches, players, draft choices, the owners. He's got like a whole team, talking to the parent companies of the NBA who's really in control. Nobody's really allowed to speak out again. Like, for example, in the Olympics, I think there's plenty of times like somebody could have been on camera and just been like holding their head down and be like, man, I can't believe LeBron just did that again. Seriously, another turnover? No, they're all celebrating him. And you feel like it's because they were told to, when LeBron James makes a layup, I want the whole team to stand up and clap for the man so he can crown himself in front of Netflix, and that's exactly what they did. Nobody's saying anything now, but I said it on a past call. People are going to think years down the line, like, what did I just put myself through? Like, what did I sign up for? I wanted to be a good player. And, maybe you'll hear some things, but not yet. They're not allowed to. And that's how I feel. Really, that's about it. The media day was just kind of a joke to me. Like I said, he has his exit strategy already planned. He's not going to play the full season. And, wait till something there has to be some kind of catalyst that's going to happen, that's going to set things in motion. And that starting five is not going to last long at all. It's just, that's a joke in itself. They're openly hoeing out Austin Reeves. So that way he doesn't outshine or get any more shine than he has been getting. Maybe for a potential another trade, a LeBron controlled trade.
who do you think they're going to get? So
I
if they have to wait until the All-Star break to do another trade, who do you think is actually going to be willing to come to the Lakers? I think it would have to be someone who's desperate, who's, practically on their way out of the league.
I I'm not really too sure. I think somebody that is just contractually obligated to do their job. You know, there's a ton of guys that would gladly play in any one of these spots, whether it be the Lakers or the Rockets or the worst team in the league. You know, somebody will play. Somebody will. They'll find something somewhere. It's a little bit too far down the line to predict that, but it's you just see the pieces being set up to. You know, LeBron is going to take over the point position. So where does that leave Russell and everybody else? You know, Austin Reeves what is he going to do? Guard Kawhi now? I just think it's ridiculous. And like I said, that's not going to be the starting five for very long. You're going to see trades, injuries, people sent elsewhere, cuts maybe. you never know with the Lakers show. And this has to be LeBron's last season. That $50 million contract is just a good send off. I mean, how else would you do it? You know, LeBron's like, I'll take the 50 million and my son, and I'm going to get my boy in as coach. Not really giving a damn about what happens afterwards, about the repercussions from it. You know, it's all about LeBron in the moment.
Yeah, I mean, he's hemorrhaged the franchise. Yeah, it's a damn shame, honestly.
Yeah,
I'm with you, Miguel.
And so, and like I said, when it comes to the media day, you know, what does FIBA have to do with the NBA? I mean, you need to leave. I get it. They just had the Olympics. They played, but it's not about the Olympics right now anymore. It's over. You know, in my opinion, people don't want to hear it. But
well,
you know,
for media day, one of the reporters asked about it, and like they were asking specifically, the question was like, what were you missing that you were able to get in the summer by playing for the Olympics? And I thought it was crazy that his answer was, I was missing real basketball and I was grateful to play it during the summer in FIBA. So that's why I had to play that. I didn't even want to talk about Olympics again. I'm over it as well. But I felt it necessary for you guys to hear this ridiculous comment. I mean, it's almost like, did he think about that? Was he trying to, insert that playing for the Olympics is the highest level of competition? Like I was trying to figure out, like, is he bobbing and weaving into something else? Like, what's going on here? And, to me, it's just always layers that you have to peel back with LeBron, because he's trying to protect his legacy, his brand, also by asserting he's the GOAT or he's the best, or, he's playing at a high level for his age, et cetera, et cetera. The narratives are they're never going to stop. And he finds very clever ways of inserting them at random points for questions that might not have anything to do with those actual answers. So,
right. And
yeah,
to me, on that, that's probably a Laker reporter that asked that, which means LeBron probably told him to ask him that. I mean, going back to the podcast with him and JJ, like they knew beforehand what questions that they were going to ask each other and what they were going to say in response. And that's it. That's as far as that goes. That's as simple as it gets. It's not a conversation. It's just say this so I can say this. It's an A/B plan. Maybe the reporter, thought about that on his own. I doubt it. Everybody in the media is told what to say. It's not just sports. The fact that a lot of people didn't know Dikembe had cancer was like, really? You didn't know he had cancer? He only announced it a year ago. But I mean, some people, I could see, a lot of people going over their heads, but, these reporters are told what to say and
I
what
didn't
to
even
think.
want to play the rest of the soundbite of his answer surrounding Mutombo, because, of course, when someone dies, LeBron still had to somehow make it about himself. He talked about Dikembe Mutombo breaking his face and sending him to the hospital. Not
Exactly.
anything about what kind of player he was. And I get it. Like, he wanted to share a story that, of a memory that he had with Mutombo, but LeBron loses me with some of the things that he does and says. It's like he's a try hard. He's a try hard. He's trying hard to be down. He's trying hard to, provide the right answer that he thinks people want to hear. And I want to hear genuine and authentic answers. That's what I want to hear. Authenticity only.
Yes. And going, lastly, I got to go pretty soon, but lastly, I said earlier, he's halfway trolling us, halfway being delusional, believing his own lies. That's the delusional part. The part where he's trolling us is when he says he's got a lot left in the tank. It's like, oh my, seriously,
It's
you
just
did
like,
not
seriously,
say
are you
that,
ever
dude.
going to retire? It always scares me when he starts talking, because I'm like, really, are you going to stick around for another 2 years? Like, I need the farewell tour to start, because I cannot continue the spectacle that's happening right now. It's a joke. I want to talk about Paolo Banchero.
Exactly.
I want to talk about
And
Donovan Mitchell. I want to talk about guys that are up and coming. I want to talk about, what's that guy? Houston, Jalen Green. I just want to talk about the younger guys who are up and coming. Who's getting the torch? It's like he refuses to pass this torch. Who are you going to pass it to? Don't pass it to anybody. Just leave.
we don't need him to pass it to anybody. Just leave. And what else is left for him to do? Like score 50,000? You're not going to do that in one season when you just signed it. If he is going to stay longer, what are they going to sign him for, a $75 million deal? And he gets to draft his other son? Maybe bring the wife in too. Maybe she can be the chef or something.
I see him retiring and coming back to the league when Zuri turns 18. Mel from Man Down said that, and I was on the floor. Like, what is truly next? Oh, it's just his dream to play with his daughter in the NBA? We can't make this shit up.
You can't. With that being said, I got to go. Have a good morning.
All righty. You too, Miguel. Thanks so much for calling in. I'm going to jump over to the next topic. You have a good day, okay?
You too. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. All righty. So we're moving on to the last topic. Thanks, guys, for hanging in there with me. It's been a really fun morning for me. But yeah, let's move on over to Draymond Green. As you guys know, Draymond Green, he's a bit of a troublemaker, right? I mean, he has moments where he's making a lot of sense. He's one of those players that has his own podcast as well, because, I guess that's what players do now. And I did have a different topic planned, but then I caught wind of Draymond Green's back and forth with a reporter. And I did think that the reporter was trying to be slick in Draymond's defense. And that tends to upset players today, especially the ones that have podcasts, who are in the media themselves. Let's hear what he had to say at the Warriors media day. It's funny and sad at the same damn time. So let's hear it.
This is Draymond Green addressing a reporter who says that they've been worried about him.
Are they worried about me? I'm a successful black man in America doing incredibly well. What's the worry? They worry about you. There are way more people in this world to worry about than me, that's for sure. But we're here now. So we're all here. I don't think you should worry about me. Okay. I'm doing pretty well. If you would have told me when I was 13 years old in Saginaw, Michigan, without a pot to piss in, that you'd be sitting here and somebody would say they're worried about you, I would have probably told them they were out of their mind. I'd be sitting here and they'd be worried about me.
Well, they're worried for themselves too. They want to know.
They don't feel.
They know the team needs
so
you.
Why are they worried?
Because they know the team needs you.
But they don't feel.
And they don't know if you're going to be here.
Doing this. I'm here. I've been here for 13 years now.
If you're going to be here every night.
Been here pretty much every night for 13 years.
Not so.
Very much so.
So you missed some.
We all have.
Okay.
Look, Kevon Looney played 82 games 2 years in a row, and everybody was celebrating. We all miss games.
No, what I'm talking about, they want to know if you're going to be here, like mentally.
I'm always here.
He got suspended.
Suspension, the guideline of getting suspended is something that's in place because it's a possibility.
So there's nothing changed in that respect. As far as you.
What would change?
Never mind. I don't know.
I think my mindset has helped us do some great things. It's pretty cool. So it's all about how you spin it. I love how you try to spin it, but it ain't my spin to it. Yeah, that's good.
All right, 2 more.
Okay.
It's just laughable to me that Draymond Green has zero sense of accountability, remorse, or any humility in any of his discussions and behaviors. The reporter was clearly asking if Draymond Green was if he was planning on having the same behavioral issues and if he was going to make any changes to his behavior so he would not be suspended and he would be available for as many Warrior games this season as possible. And, he was making it seem like everybody's crazy for asking him this question. He's making it seem like no one would, have any reason to question his availability or his ability to cool it. And honestly, his behavior last season, it was borderline like, what is wrong with you? The league doesn't play defense. So there's no reason for some of the behavior that he has. There's no reason for some of the things that he does. It's literally for no reason. You have to kind of be a little sick to do some of these things. And I'm going to go ahead and play for you some of Draymond's best highlights. It's like a compilation of his ejections. Here you guys go.
To Barnes. Green and James jawing at each other while play continues. LeBron James incensed. Remember, Draymond Green is 1 flagrant foul and 2 technicals away from being suspended.
He's got that on threes as Zubats gets the basket. And now we got a whistle, and a technical foul is called here. It's on Draymond Green. That's big. That's number 16, which means he's suspended for the next game. He is still barking. Yeah, he can't throw the ball at people.
Monk puts it up. And Curry's got the board. Green gets tied up. And a technical has been assessed. So that's it for Draymond Green. He's done. Now McDaniels and Klay Thompson get tangled up. Now someone's got Rudy in a headlock. It's Draymond. Somehow Draymond just got Rudy around the neck from behind. I can't believe what I just saw. Just picked up his 3rd foul. And now Green runs over Nurkic, and he'll be called for the foul. And they're going to take a look at this. Oh, man. I think this may be the last of Draymond Green. We'll see.
Well, we saw what happened in 2016 between him and LeBron. He got himself suspended for the very next game. Cost the Warriors the series. And I don't think, and look, I think that the Cavaliers, that they earned that title. But I just think that him not being available in game 6, I'm sorry, I think it was game 5. I think he was suspended for game 5, pivotal game. And it shifted the series. It shifted the energy on the Warriors. And it's a distraction. So for me, I would have, as the owner of the Warriors, the GM, if I was Bob Myers, I would have traded Draymond that year. To me, he's a loose cannon that you can't predict. If somebody's unpredictable in that way, their conduct is unpredictable and they could be not available for games just because they're acting out, I wouldn't want to deal with that. I wouldn't want that on my team. And he's just not. I think there was a time when he was scoring and averaging, I think, 20 plus points a game. He's not doing that anymore. So even if I didn't trade him in 2016, I would have traded him by now. We saw him stomp on Sabonis for literally no reason. What kind of person does that? Like, I get like being super physical, being, having like uber masculinity. He like choked Gobert for no reason. There was no reason for you to do that. Go and break up the fight. Why do you have to be a part of the problem? And what I notice about Draymond is he's like a fake tough guy. He's not like going and fighting somebody one-on. He's not doing any of that. He's catching them from behind. He came up from behind Gobert to like drag him and choke him. He's not going after anybody straight up. Sabonis was already on the floor and he just stomped down on him for no reason, catching him at a low point. He wasn't expecting that. Nobody would have. Draymond Green, he's the same guy that got slapped by Tristan Kardashian. How do you get slapped by Tristan Kardashian? How? He didn't have any smoke for him. At LeBron's party, Tristan slapped him. Doesn't seem like Draymond's that tough to me. But he's always got smoke for the media and reporters, and he talks real tough, and he does all these little dirty things on the basketball court. Good for him. I think that Warriors should move on from Draymond. I'm at the point where, hey, like this isn't benefiting Steph in a way. Like Jordan Poole is gone from the team. Andrew Wiggins is likely to be traded. I feel like Draymond Green divided the locker room in a really negative way. And, the young guys on the team, they were divided. It was him, Steph, and Clay. I think that was the trifecta. The Warriors team was so focused on protecting them. I would have traded Draymond in lieu of Klay Thompson. I would have not traded Clay, but I would have gotten rid of Draymond. And I think it was a mistake that they traded Clay instead of him. Draymond does not appreciate being on a team with Steph Curry, in my opinion. He's manipulating the Warriors. He is gaslighting them. And I just, again, I think it's laughable that Draymond Green has such a, it's like he's delusional. He has no accountability or remorse. You would think that he would come in and start the season off right. Suspensions are no big deal. So what to getting suspended? Getting ejected from games are no big deal, right? Is Draymond okay? Is he okay? In a defenseless league, some of his behavior begs the question if his game is just predicated on dirty plays and getting himself ejected when Steph has a night off, or even when LeBron has a night off. He wants to be on the scene with LeBron, so he'll get himself thrown out of the game. He does this especially when he's underperforming on the floor. I mean, it's just classic Draymond. He offers very little scoring, very little production. The fact that he's supposed to be the heartbeat of their team is a joke. He divided their locker room. He punched Jordan Poole in the face. It has a domino effect on the team, these kinds of things. Draymond Green, to me, is a scammer and a con artist. He tries to con people into believing he's this transcendent player when he's just riding Steph's coattails. Warriors need to trade him. The reporter asked if he's okay because his season last year was a disaster filled with unnecessary violence on the court. And you guys just saw it. You saw the compilation. So let me know what you guys think. Should Draymond be traded? You guys can call in. I'll read some comments and then we'll close out the show. So let's see. These American players are the most overrated players ever. Robert W. I agree with you. Kidding. I don't think that every American player is overrated. What I think is that some of them are. I think in FIBA play and on foreign teams, I don't think that they hype players up. So you might be right that American players might be the most overrated players ever because these media machines, they hype people up that cannot live up to the hype. And that's part of the problem. The foreign players, they kind of come through into the league as a surprise. That's what it feels like almost. Good morning. This is Dominique from Sports Tea. Talk to me nice.
How you doing? It's Jeffrey.
Hey, Jeffrey. How's it going, buddy?
Caught you this morning.
So nice to hear from you. What do you think?
Okay, nice to see you. Draymond. I would get whatever. For one, I would have never let KD slide. Not for him. The minute him and KD had the altercation, he would have been gone. Because it's very rare that an NBA team have a chance to have like Steph, Clay, and KD, that type of lethal combination. Like that's like an all-time combination that is probably unmatched in NBA history. So like I would have never broke that up.
Thanks for
Not for
bringing that
Draymond.
up. I really want to thank you for bringing that up, Jeffrey, because that's huge. Kevin Durant, like Draymond is the reason that Kevin Durant left. And I wish that compilation showed him yelling at his teammate and calling him a bitch on the court for everybody to
Right.
see.
Right. Yeah, there's no way. Like when you have Steph, Clay, and Kevin Durant, like you cannot match that. Like you can go all through NBA history. You cannot match a combination like that. You can almost have two hardworking bigs, like power forward or center or whatever, and your team is still gonna be good. Like you definitely need Draymond. He was like a downside to that. Like, and at this point right now, I would try to get whatever I can get for him. If I can get anything for him, if not, I'll just cut him. The way that the league is now, you can actually cut players just to create salary cap. And when you have a Steph Curry on your team, you can get another player there.
Right. And they have the money. So it's an emotional
Right.
tie. I think that Steph Curry keeps him there. I think that he, I think he's making pleas to the organization to keep him. I think for some reason, Steph Curry needs him mentally. Supposedly he's the heartbeat for the team. That's what they say, that he's the leader of this team, not Steph Curry.
That's
And
crazy.
I think it's totally crazy because I wouldn't want to play
Yeah.
under his leadership.
Well, he's LeBron's friend. I sent him to LA.
I thought that was going to happen. I was hoping that was what was going to happen last year.
Right. You go to LA, let him destroy that team. That team's already a circus. He can just add to the clown show over in LA, and I'll
Yeah.
take whatever for him or nothing for him.
Well,
'Cause
I
now the
just
league
want to
is
say,
big.
Jeffrey, someone from Missouri is calling. So let me click over and let their
Okay.
voice be heard, okay?
All right, I'm
All
still on
right.
here. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye. Caller from Missouri. Thanks for calling Sports Tea. Talk to me nice.
Hey, Dominique. Oh my God, I love how you just slow cook everything that you've done. I'm a fan of yours. I'm a supporter of yours, but Draymond Green should have been gone years ago. I personally think that he's sabotaging the Golden State just to make his friendship with LeBron James that much more exclusive. I don't trust him. I do agree that he's a fake tough guy. He always picks on somebody smaller than him, or he don't ever have that same smoke for somebody that wants to smoke for him.
Right.
I don't think that he brings anything to the table. You could teach anybody to set screens and pass the ball to Steph Curry. It's not like that's the biggest, difficulty in the NBA. I just don't like him. He sabotaged his team on multiple occasions, and then he wants to talk shit, he can't even hold his damn jockstrap and make it seem like he can do what Charles does, but he really can't. He just talks a big thing. He's really insecure. He has not even developed anything good with his game, and I don't see what the hell is the loyalty with him. He's cost them
I don't get it
championships.
either. It almost makes me feel like he's got something on them. But caller, what is your name? You're from Missouri, right?
Oh yeah, I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. I go by that black guy, but my real name's Mark.
I love it.
Look, I just got the top in the Melvin a couple of days ago. What y'all doing, I support 100%. I love how, like I said, you went viral with your slow cook of LeBron James, and I was literally doing the damn percolator in my car when you were giving it to me. So I appreciate how you stick to facts. You don't get caught up in your emotion. You fact. And whatever I can do to help your channel grow, I want to do that because we need more people like you, Melvin, Eric, the panel there at Man Down. Just keep up the good work for me.
Thank you so much for calling in. I really appreciate it. It was just a pleasure to connect with you this morning, Mark, and I'm so glad you're enjoying the content. And as you guys know, you can all catch me on Man Down Sports on Friday at 4:30 p.m. Pacific time, or 7:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Great. You have a great day and keep up the good work.
You too, Mark. Have a wonderful morning.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, guys. Shy Rider. Hey, Alexander. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Dominique. How you doing?
I'm so good. I love when you call in. What's going on? What's on your mind?
What's on my mind is like, I agree.
You there? You agree? Hello? You with me, Alexander? Do you have me on mute? You might have muted yourself.
Yeah, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I figured you just muted yourself.
Yeah, but here, like at this point, yeah, Draymond should go at this point because he just went he was a different man this year. And like, I'm a Warrior fan. You know, before I was the Chicago Jordans and the Los Angeles Kobe's, but I've always been like a rooter for the Warriors, right?
You always rooted for the Warriors? That's awesome.
Yes, always rooted for them, but like they've given us much to root for as of late under new ownership, et cetera, et cetera. But I believe Draymond Green was needed in all four of the championships just to maintain the grit and the attitude of the Warriors. But I agree with letting him go at this point because he's useless in terms of attitude, and he is the D coordinator for the Warriors, as I've seen throughout the dynasty. But at this point, I don't see the value in keeping him. But I did agree with keeping him, even though he blew the championship, because we got Kevin Durant. Okay, that was it. If we didn't get Kevin Durant, Draymond was out. But at the same time, Draymond is such a head case at this point that I do believe it's time for him to go. I believe he should have kept Clay, even though he put up a donut out here in Sacramento. But I didn't think that warranted for what Clay brings versus what Dre has been giving us lately. He should have kept Clay. But Dre, at this point, he has to go. And he's not useful to any other team at this point of his career except the Warriors. And he's not even useful to the Warriors right now. So I think it was fair to let him go. If we do, he should.
I think he should be out of the league. I don't understand why he's still employed, but you know, I'm sure there's a team that will take him. Like, why can't he go to the Houston Rockets or maybe the Detroit Pistons? Put him on a team where, you know, his kind of leadership might be welcomed and needed.
Yeah, it seems like it would fit out in Memphis with him and John Moran, as crazy as they are. But or you can go to LA. But I wouldn't mind trading him to LA.
I wouldn't mind trading him to LA because I know it would just be bad. You know, and he would really like LeBron. Draymond Green is used to being a distributor on the Warriors. You know what I mean? And I don't see him going to the Lakers and being able to be in the LeBron system. But you know, who knows? He's used to
the point where I trade Bronny for Bronny. Get the Warriors Bronny for him, man.
God. Oh my God. Draymond is pretty bad. Bronny James probably is better than him.
Yes, that's legit deal.
He probably is better.
But I ain't gonna hold you. But yeah, I just agree. Case in point that Draymond, it's time for him to go. But I do agree with having him through the 4 championships. He was needed. But even in the last one, he did calm it down. He was going crazy with his podcast and going crazy on the court in the early stage of the Boston series. But he toned it down, showed me a lot, which made him worth keeping to this point where, yeah, I agree. He has to go. He has to go.
We're here. We're on the same page, Alexander.
Right on, right on. I'm at work right now, so I'm gonna get back to
Oh
it.
my gosh,
Great
get
show.
back to
Great
work.
show.
Thank you so much for the call, and have a wonderful day, okay?
You too.
Alrighty, bye-bye.
Later.
All right, guys. I mean, this is pretty much the end. I'll read some more comments. If anybody else wants to call in, I'll probably take one more phone call, but we're at the end of the show. I really had a lot of fun with you guys today. And yeah, it's always so much fun talking about basketball. Let's see. Dom, LeBron still can play defense. Did you see him play Jokic? So he can play defense, but he can't play defense and offense at the same time. And I thought it was really funny. So I do want to take a moment to shout out Goatcast Hoops. Check out their channel, guys. It's pretty awesome. They have some great comments, some great content, and just a lot of really great topics. So check out their channel. Go and subscribe and like some videos over there as well. I'll read their comment. FIBA has a narrower court, so there's not as much space to work. So a team like Canada is going to struggle. Yes and no. Like I don't want to hear the excuse about the court size. None of the teams should, like, if you're good, you're good. If you know how to play basketball, it doesn't matter what size the court is. It should be easier to play on that floor because the 3-point line is closer. It was easier for Kevin Durant. He was so long. He looked like a rock star playing defense. So when the court is smaller, I think it's a little easier to play. And if you're a good basketball player, you will instantly adjust to the court size. That to me is an excuse. And I'm so tired of people making excuses for Team USA when we've historically blown out teams. We should have been meeting the spread. Like there's no reason for us not to have met the spread in these games. LeBron's not on Jordan's level. Yeah, I mean, no shit, Sherlock. I mean, it's not even close. It's just not even close. I think Jordan is separated from LeBron by like multiple Hall of Fame careers, maybe by like 2 or 3. You can make a case for LeBron to be a borderline top 5 player, but 1 to 3, that's not a reality-based argument. I think that anybody can make a case for LeBron to be wherever they want him to be. I just know that he's not in my top 5 or my top 10. The Euros get away with a lot of travel in the NBA. Harden copied them and started the step back and travel 3-pointers in the NBA. Why are we traveling? That's not basketball. Euro step my ass. Gather step my ass. I'm not here for the traveling, taking 10 steps into the paint, galloping down the court where you're carrying the ball over your head and then into the paint, running over defenders. None of that is basketball, and it gets exposed in FIBA. Giannis gets exposed in FIBA. He's been ejected before because you can't just run over defenders. That's not basketball. Now, I said a case because he has a case because winning accolades 4 and 4 will help him. Okay. High school top prospect Cameron Boozer plays smart IQ like Jokic, but he also plays defense. I mean, that's because basketball is about offense and defense. You really kind of can't play one without the other. Just so people know, just for like people, you know, if you hear this, if you didn't pick up anything that I had to say today, defense is important because defense can create offense. You need both. You just need both of those parts of the game. You can't eliminate defense from basketball. You just can't do it. Stop disrespecting Jokic. He is an amazing player. I mean, it just depends on what you value, right? So I value a well-rounded player that embodies what I think is a great basketball player, which is someone who is a total package. I don't like players that are not athletic, like that have zero athleticism. He has no lift and he's 7 feet tall. I take issue with it. I take issue with him being a 3-time MVP. I really do. Is he a good player? Yes. Is he one of the best in the NBA currently? Yes. But I think that ties directly back to the state of the NBA and where we're at. Jokic shines because the NBA product and the players that are in it are just not that good. I don't think there's any difference between Jokic and Vlade Divac. And Vlade Divac wasn't a 3-time MVP. But that's, again, this is just my opinion. I don't think it's disrespect to call the game how I see it and to call Jokic's game how I see it. So, Joker is a great passer. He's able to control the pace of the game very well. He occasionally can shoot these really ugly, nasty looking 3-pointers from the top of the key. And somehow, I don't even think he prays. They just go in. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the best center. He has no athleticism. What is she talking about? I do think that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has an unguardable move. So whereas he didn't have a lot of athleticism, I wouldn't say that he had zero athleticism. He created the skyhook. So yes, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar he's in my top 5 all-time players. So when you think about running, jumping, and dunking the basketball, do you believe that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar could not do those things? Is that what you're trying to tell me? And yeah, Kareem was athletic. So he wasn't the most athletic player, but he didn't look like Jokic. So please don't try to sell me that bridge. I can't buy that bridge. That's definitely a check I can't cash. Good morning, Funky Town. Welcome back.
Hey, what's going on, Dominique?
It's
Good
just
morning,
a beautiful
good morning.
good morning. It's just a beautiful Tuesday morning.
I know, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that last one got me. I was gonna let it slide. I was like, okay, because you hitting like all my buttons right now with LeBron and Bronny and all the Anthony Edwards
Kardashians,
stuff.
you mean?
Yeah, all that, and then Draymond is like I can't stand that anyway. But this dude, whoever it was, asked him about Kareem, and this other one, Kareem, athletic. They got an idea of Kareem when he was on his downturn. They don't go back to see him in the 70s, early 80s. Kareem was a monster.
I mean, they
Kareem
even changed a rule for him.
Thank you. They changed the rule. They changed the NCAA rules that you can't dunk.
That you
just
can't
as
dunk.
he was coming in, just as
Exactly.
he was coming into college. Like when he was coming in, they stopped it. When he was at UCLA as a freshman and freshmen couldn't play, him and the freshman team crushed the reigning national champion. Not just one-time national champion, multiple national championships in a row. He crushed them with the freshman team. All that stuff that people they watch Jokic taking the ball. He could go court to court. He could go coast to coast. People don't understand. You just don't get to keep doing that when you get a certain level. You have a different job, and when you're sitting in there, he had to go get with Bruce Lee to build up his ability to because his build was what you would call slender, but he's a big man, obviously 7'2". But he had to learn how to use balance. And I mean, I'm sorry, this is crazy. People they got it in they got pictures in their head. They don't understand the whole thing. They're looking at this guy when he stayed where he was retired and all that other stuff. Man, Kareem, and you got to look at who he was playing against. He's playing against monsters every night.
He played against some of the best talent that ever lived, and that's what people
Especially
don't
in the
understand,
pivot, He played in the pit. You were playing against Wes Unsfeld. You were playing against, good Lord. Everybody had a center back then. You know, so I don't know. That's the thing. I kind of get a little, especially this generation now. They don't know the game. Like they think, oh well, this guy couldn't do this and this. Yeah, he didn't shoot threes because that wasn't his job. When he started, the three wasn't a thing. That was in the ABA.
The game was played so differently. Can you imagine someone being the greatest scorer of all time off of straight 2-pointers? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar took a total of 18 3-point shots in his entire career and only made 2 of them.
Thank you. I mean, what are you doing?
In my mind, he's still the greatest scorer that ever lived. I think LeBron recorded over 3,000 3-pointers in his career. Yes. I think he took about, maybe I can't remember the number that he took. I know that he's leading in all-time missed shots, all-time turnovers.
All-time turnovers, yep.
He is leading in all-time.
He's getting ready to get that one.
He also took thousands of 3-point shots. So,
yes.
For me,
and in this era, where efficiency is no longer, that's what I think people misunderstand is it's an efficiency deficit in this era. They're able to take shots that
dribble.
Took those same shots,
too many dribbles,
pound the air out of the ball, and then take, because they do this ISO ball crap. But if you had to do, you could not have a big man like Kareem, have him run up and down the court because they are slinging more weight. They're pushing. They're big men, right? You're not going to sit there. He's not going to sit there forever and be like, "Oh, you're just going to have me run up and down this court." You know what I'm saying? See, it was a different. It was men. You were dealing with men back then, and so when a person was a professional, they weren't. You had to. That's what Magic was talking about, and what you said. Comparing him to stuff. You can't. There's no comparison because it's management. It's team management out there. You got to make sure you feed the big man. You got to make sure other people get what they need to keep them in the game. You can't do this 2-man game or whatever. You can't. It was a different, more exciting, better product. They've got what they've got now. Think about that. The last All-Star game. How pathetic was that?
It was extremely pathetic. I mean, even the commissioner was ashamed.
Yeah, because he was gassing everybody up, saying, "We're doing to do this, and it's gonna be this and that and the other," and they're out there looking like, that fast break with Jokic and I forgot who else it was it Doncic? He's going up and down. They're just passing the ball back and forth, and nobody stopping. And it looked like 2 semi trucks on a highway, and nobody. It's just like, I'm like, wait a minute, really? This is to lead up to a dunk. And I'm like, okay. I realize you don't want to get anybody hurt and stuff like that, but they can't even turn it off. You know what I'm saying? They can't turn the wick down to have a fun game like used to be. It's just like, no, we're just not going to play defense because, it's already tissue paper defense. But now, once you take that away, you get what you got on there. And so the one thing I think you agree with this also is look at how the playoffs, how shocked they were, how the refs were calling the playoffs.
Oh yeah. And as soon as there became some more physical defense, and we never know what the refs which way they're going to go. We know that they're going to allow some defense in the playoffs, but we don't know for which team they're going to allow it for and who the whistle is going to favor. And that's the issue.
I think Silver, that's part of that too. But I think, again, I don't think the Mavericks were supposed to be. They shouldn't have been where they ended up. But
they did not belong in the finals for sure. They're trying to make Luka. The plan is for Luka to be the leader of the FNBA. So for the foreign FNBA,
we got NBA stars.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying the plan is for him to lead the foreign NBA players, Luka. I think it was Giannis. Then, they passed the torch to Jokic, and now it's going to be Luka.
Yeah, I know, but you got these stars. Think about it. This is the thing about this era. You got players who look like melted ice cream that are
look like a dad bod.
Thank you. Like, I'm like,
How do you show up to the NBA with a dad bod? That's Luka. That's James Harden. Ugh.
but how do these other players allow people with dad bods go out there and do what they want to do?
If
That's part
you're
of
the
the whole.
star player of a team, then like Luka Dad bod Doncic, what are they going to say to him? You get traded.
But what I'm saying, see, I get that. But what I'm saying is, if you have players like, okay, Nowitzki, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could say what you want to about Nowitzki, but what you couldn't say is that he didn't put in the work, because he had that step he had, that it wasn't a Euro step. He had some moves. He had moves.
He had
in the
beautiful
post,
moves.
in the mid post,
Beautiful.
right? And they were, but he learned that, guy. He learned that from a dude from Germany, a former German, like older basketball player that most people don't even know about. I was stationed over there, so I kind of know what I'm talking about. But it was, this dude showed him, like, hey, you want to learn how to get your position to get your shot? Let me show you these moves. And that's why he could dip himself and get to that shot and raise up. He first, when you look at him, he was just taking his height because he's 7 foot. He just takes the shot. But no, this guy, he got him in the lab. He worked on the thing. These guys don't work. I mean, I give not Jokic. He's got some moves. I give him that. He's got skill. I give him that. But I still say, you got a problem when you're sitting back, and you know how hard.
He has skill, but look at how what is his name? Oh my gosh, Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard was able to defend him, no problem. You put an athletic player on Jokic, he's done.
Exactly. You put somebody hard. You put
stopped.
somebody that they can be discussed some strength, and that's it.
That's it.
But again, they don't have enough players who have enough pride to say, look, man, I worked to get here. I had to go through all this to get here. I still work on my game. I still work on my physical whatever. And I'm sitting here behind this, like James Harden. Dude does not play defense. And again, it's this LeBron era thing. Like, there should be pride in playing this game. You know what I mean? You couldn't. I think Kenny Smith said it. He's like, all these dudes that people talk about, you would be coming off the bench.
Right. It's true. I mean, what do you think about this comment? This is me on my conspiracy theory. Draymond trying to sabotage Steph's legacy to build up LeBron. You can't call LeBron the GOAT if someone in his era has more chips than him. He's definitely on that payroll. This is from Chi-Town Trap. What do you think?
Well, see, I like what Chi-Town's putting down, because I mean, I could see it as a possibility. That you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it is or isn't. I'm saying that there's a whole bunch that makes it make sense. Right. There's a whole, because again, I think I don't rate Draymond at all. He's fake hard. I don't rate him at all. I never have, to be honest. And after 2016, he should have been gone.
Gone.
He should have been gone. If that organization had any sense, they would have got rid of him in 2000 after 2016.
I'm with you, Funky Town.
They got something on. He got something on him. So they'll make no other sense why he's still there.
It's something. Either Steph really can't live without him, or there's some he's manipulating them in some way. And I think that he's manipulating him in the way of like, hey, this locker room needs me. This team needs me. I'm the heart of this team. And I don't see how he's the heart. I think that he's a rotten.
He's blown up the locker room at least twice.
Yeah.
He's blown up that locker room at least twice.
I think he's just so rotten. And I think that, Steph Curry needs some sort of, emotional support. That's what I think it is. Yeah. But I could be wrong. I really don't know what it is, because I can't imagine.
Hey, but I'm loving your show. Keep it up, young sister. And, you know what I'm saying? I'll always be here to support you. So
thank you so much,
have a
Funky
good one.
Town. You're the
Everybody
best.
hit that like.
Yes. Thank you.
You got it.
All righty, Funky Town. Have a good one, okay?
You too, dog.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys, this is the end. We're going to close out the show. Really, I had so much fun with everybody. I will read this last super chat. Salute. Dre to the Pistons is most likely. He just needs to get out of the Warriors. He needs to get away from Steph. He's holding him back and really just riding his coattails. So if you guys can just do me a solid favor and like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I'm looking forward to another really great show this week. I'm going to talk about the WNBA playoffs. We're going to predict the semifinals and see who we think is going to the finals. We're also going to talk about some different NBA moves and different media days that also happen with the other teams. So I look forward to talking about these things. Also, Andre Drummond was saying that he's the leading rebounder of all time, and he's the best of all time in rebounding. We'll talk about that too at some point this week. So have a wonderful day, guys. If you're up early with me drinking some coffee and headed to work, I really appreciate this time that you shared with me. And please, everyone, have a really, really great rest of your week. And shout out to everybody that joined me today. All righty. Have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.